No face, no case. welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the lovely Queen K on the panel, co-hosting the show today. Shout out to her, big standing ovation and round of applause. Welcome, Queen. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine, thank you.
Great to have you. Great to have you. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for coming out and making some time to come and receive some righteous information, some true and factual information on the Jennifer versus Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty case. Definitely feel free to hit that like, hit that subscribe for show. Show your boy free love and share this video. Share this, make it go viral. Hit that like though, because that helps it go viral. So if you really want to support Jennifer, that's definitely one way to do it. We have some interesting news today. It's very informative, interesting, factual show. We're going to point out a lot of things that are crucial and vital in this whole entire case when it comes to Jennifer and Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. We just received a new update on the case, which is why we're here, because I'm going to go ahead and update you guys the right way on what Kenneth Petty is submitting on his declaration on his court docket. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into that. Before we start the show, I want to go ahead and give shout out to the people in the chat. Let me see who's the first person to come in here and comment. Let's see. Let's see if I can get to them. Probably not. All right. I think it was Sweets the Queen. We have it's me saying, let's go. Chazio, what up, sis? Uh, Ms. Garner for president. Good to see you. Been on top draft pick. Hey, how you doing? How you been, everybody? Facts versus fiction. New to the channel. Thanks for sharing the truth and bringing awareness of victims never be silenced. Hashtag justice for Jen. I appreciate you for facts versus fiction. Excuse me. And I definitely agree. And welcome to the channel. Thank you for being a new member of the Hot Shot Radio family. Summer vibes in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Vanderveer. Pamela Hurt. What's good, family? Mystical. What's going on, sis? Good to have you. Aquarius One, and thank you for that. Aquarius One in the building. Who else is here? Queen Love, Eclipse. How you doing? Welcome to the show. All those that are newcomers to the show, this is where you're gonna get the best information. Well, I'm not gonna say the best information because there's people out there that also do a good job at breaking down the court documents and their truth was not many. But there's some out there, Sweet Pea Diaries being one of those people, and I highly appreciate and respect her for that. But this is one of the channels besides the other one channel where everything everything unfolded and Jennifer came on and interviewed, and this is where we got the story. This is where they're taking bits and clips of my videos from. It's from my channel, and um, there was another person's channel that Nosy Whole Life that covered the story and had Jennifer on it, and is no longer there. But they was also taking bits and clips from that channel. But this is pretty much where everything unfolded and led up to the lawsuit that we have going on today. Um, I want to start with saying that we finally got to the point that we all been waiting for. I wanna state something, and then I want to ask Queen K what does she think about this? Because this is a really interesting situation here. On the updates of this new court document, right? So we've all been waiting for Kenneth Petty's declaration, and Kenneth Petty has finally submitted his declaration to the court docket, to the courts, right? On this case, he finally submitted a response. Pretty much is what I'm telling you guys right now. Before it was just he responded, he presented himself in court, not in court, but of course it was like, yo, I'm here, I'm responding to this default and this summons. Now he's submitted his declaration, pretty much explaining his side of things. And one of the most interesting parts, and parts that stands out the most in this whole entire declaration, I believe it's a 4 or 5 page declaration. Not too long. He was uh, not as detailed as I would think he would be, but then again, he was detailed enough to incriminate himself even more. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all all about it. What up, Tabitha? What up, Unwind and Dine? What up, Keza in the building? Nettie, what's going on, Sephora? All right, so getting back to the show. Oh, Jessica Parker, yeah, definitely. Getting back to the show. Kenneth Petty in his declaration finally, finally is admitting. Finally is admitting. I can't stress that enough because this is the moment, like I said, we all been waiting for. Was the moment for Kenneth Petty to answer to the allegations of Jennifer. But to answer, did he contact Jennifer? Who the hell is Black? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news to these bar blogs, but it is at this point is a shit show. It's like a circus, right? Because when it comes to these bar blogs, they've been getting smacked in the face with the ish they've been putting out there for the longest, for almost a year now. Oh, if you know, you know. If you know who these bar blogs are, you know. You know who they are. You know, you've been following the story. But if we go back into memory lane, Tasha K has spun a narrative about Black being schizophrenic. You know, he didn't know what he was talking about. But why doesn't Kenneth Petty mention any of this in his declaration? That's one. Oh, that's number one. We gonna get to the nitty gritty. I mean, put your thinking caps on. I need you, and even the ones in the bushes, even the, haters, barbs, whoever in the bushes, put your thinking caps on. Because a lot of y'all gonna be mad at these bar blogs that y'all follow and support, because they've been contradicting themselves this whole time, and they make things seem worse than what they should be for Nicki. So they spun a narrative, or tried to spin a narrative, that Tasha was in contact with Black, which I don't doubt. Of course, she's trying to get the clout, so of course she probably contacted him, offered some kind of bread. Who knows? Allegedly, and that she's got a video she was going to put out. This, that, and third, right? Why doesn't Kenneth Petty mention in his lawsuit, I know Black to be schizophrenic? Why? Another thing, that Nicole blogger lady, she claimed, and so did Tree Frog, that Black is Jennifer's cousin. Why didn't Kenneth Petty mention in his declaration that Black is Jennifer's cousin? But I could tell you what he did mention. Oh, I could tell you what he did mention. He finally admitted that he knows Black. He finally admitted that there was communication, there was a conversation between Nicki Minaj and Jennifer. Are you done? All this time, ladies and gentlemen, a whole year now, a whole entire year, we've been on YouTube, we've been on Instagram, we've been on all kinds of station head, Clubhouse, we've been on fucking Twitter. A whole year trying to explain to the world that Jennifer's allegations seemed truthful. Her evidence was very supportive to her allegations. I vetted her for many months, and everything she said seemed very credible to me. And in my opinion, she was telling the truth. And that's still my opinion and I still feel she's very believable, right? Thank you so much, Miss Hottie in the Streets, for the $20 super chat. Says smash the like button, no drama, be respectful, come in peace, or get bounced. Most definitely. I appreciate you, sis. That is very dope of you. Um, you already know. So all these months they were discrediting Jennifer, they were slamming Jennifer, slandering her name, bullying her, making defamatory statements. It was the worst victim shaming episodes that we've ever seen. I've seen on YouTube history, in my experience on YouTube history. You've guys probably seen worse. Who knows? I don't know. But in my experience, I could not believe my eyes, and it's still going on to this day. These very same bar blogs, because that's what they are. They bar blogs are discrediting, slandering, bullying, all kinds of stuff. Jennifer, even threatening her with lawsuits when they're the ones speaking on her name constantly. Come on now, let's make it make sense. So I say that to say this. I say that to say this. All this time, and they should be ashamed of themselves because all this time they did all that defending, all that kissing ass and covering up. And Kenneth himself admits to knowing Black. I remember when they were saying, do y'all remember when they were saying, well, Kenneth don't even know Black. Black is just somebody that probably is from the same neighborhood. That don't mean Kenneth and Nikki know him. They don't even know Black. Do y'all remember that? When these very same blogs were saying that Kenneth didn't know Black, Nikki didn't know Black, but Kenneth states in his declaration that they know Black. They know who Black is. Kenneth also states in his declaration that he wasn't aware Black was going to contact Jennifer and Nicki Minaj or put them to have each other, to speak to each other in a conversation. He wasn't aware that was his intent. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that part though, because that's one of the juicy parts of this whole shit. We're gonna get to that part. Trust and believe we're gonna get to that part. Because this is crazy what's going on right now. This is revealing, unfolding, just received updates on this case, and is pretty much telling, is very telling on what Jennifer has been saying this whole time. Donique Mitchell, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. You saying Nikki is trying to act like she doesn't have money. Karma is going to make them pockets hurt. What do you think about all this, Queen K? Thank you for the super chat, and I definitely agree. She is trying to put on a roll according to that exhibit. I think it's Exhibit A. Kenneth Petty provided, which is a photo of him and Nikki. They look pretty, dressed down and all that. Like they wasn't no jewelry, no none of that. So it looks kind of like they trying to paint a picture here. I'm not, too sure, but yeah, in my opinion, that's what it looks like. What do you think about this, Queen K? Queen, you there? Queen, okay. Yeah, they did took long enough. They did
Can
took
you hear
very.
me?
Now I could, yeah.
Okay. Are you asking me about the photo that they added in the exhibit?
I'm gonna go ahead and share that photo now. I'm asking you about just the whole declaration where Kenneth is now coming forward and admitting that he does know Black, and just saying that there was a communication amongst Jennifer and Nicki Minaj. A lot of people were saying Jennifer is a lunatic. She's crazy. She's bananas. Nicki Minaj will never call her. Nicki Minaj never called and dialed her number. There's no Marshall's investigation. That's a lie. So people were really, when it came to this part specifically, I mean, they were discrediting Jennifer for everything. But when it came to this part specifically, they was really emphasizing on the fact that Jennifer was lying, that Nicki Minaj would never have called Jennifer. And then here we have Kenneth Petty in his declaration admitting that there was some kind of communication. And we're going to get to that because we have the court documents and we're going to read them here today. Go ahead while I, take this drink of water.
Well, I was just going to go over line 15, where you are bringing up he which I'm speaking on, Kenneth Petty, regarding knowing Black, confirming that he does know of Black. Well, like I've always pointed out that he does know Black from their neighborhood. But in line 15, as he states, is it okay if I read it, or were you going to read it?
I was gonna read it, but you can read it. Definitely, go ahead. Feel free. Before you do, Jonetta Fearson, thank you for the 4.99 super chat. She says Kenneth basically proved half of the case. Why did you even put her name? Yeah, but we know that. Yeah. We know that. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jonetta. I appreciate you, Queen. Yeah, I agree. He definitely pretty much proved Jennifer's allegations and accusations on this whole shit from day one. Excuse my French, but go ahead, Queen.
Okay, regarding line 15, as you mentioned first, regarding this amendment complaint that Kenneth Petty is responding, regarding knowing Black, where he states that um, he was not aware that Black was communicating with the victim, Jennifer. But Black asked for his wife, and I'm going to put this in quote. My wife and I grew up in the same neighborhood with Black, although we are not close to each other. To be absolutely clear, did not ask him to contact or communicate on my behalf with the plaintiff. I did not know that Black was communicating with plaintiff until he asked me for my wife's phone number so that the plaintiff and my wife could speak. Now, here in this sentence or line, well, sentence where he's stating that he did not know that they were communicating. If you did not know that they were communicating, what was the purpose of you speaking with Black and Black saying asking for your wife's phone number? Now, Nikki is a A-list celebrity that is known through the entire world. She would not give. I don't think she would give just some random person her personal phone number to contact her.
Right.
Um, and it's crazy that he would give someone her number and says that he didn't know that they were already communicating.
Yeah,
You
here's
and
the thing.
Black,
Go
you
ahead.
and
Yeah.
Black, you and Black had to be communicating beforehand regarding the situation on getting the victim to recant to help you with the.
There you go. That's the bomb I needed you to drop.
They had to be communicating beforehand, so that for Black to ask for Nikki's number. It doesn't make any logical sense for him to ask for his wife's phone number out the blue, and he just freely gives it over with no regard. Um so that's one of the things that's really insane to me, that you would give your wife's number out to just a regular person, even though you grew up with this person and you have a history with this person, to your wife, and you're saying that you had no idea that he had been communicating about the situation of recanting the original case. It doesn't make any sense. And then he goes on to say that I told him that he should not communicate with the plaintiff. Why would you tell him not to communicate with the plaintiff if you guys have not been discussing him communicating with the plaintiff? Why would you even say that? So
Right.
evidently Black had to tell you that he was communicating or trying to communicate with the plaintiff for you to
Why
even.
is there a conversation regarding Jennifer to begin with?
Right.
According to Kenneth Petty, Jennifer's allegations are false. Jennifer is alleging that Kenneth Petty and Nicki Minaj were directly and indirectly harassing and threatening and bribing Jennifer, right? Which he pretty much proves in his declaration. Why is there a pre-conversation of any sort regarding Jennifer if you were not harassing her, if you were not threatening her through other sources, through other intermediaries? Why, if Jennifer is falsely accusing you, were you having a conversation with Black regarding Jennifer? And we're going to go over that because we're going to read the whole entire thing, but we're going to start from one. I want to go ahead and show you guys one of the first exhibits here that Kenneth Petty provided to the court. And this exhibit here is pretty much just a picture of him and Nicki Minaj. Because remember how the server says, and they swore under penalty of perjury, and so did Kenneth Petty and Nicki Minaj, that, you know, they're telling the truth. Kenneth and Nicki says they weren't served. The server says they were. What I think happened is, yes, the server went in there, served them, put the documents on the door after he made contact with Kenneth through the window, and said, "You've been served." And being that he probably didn't hand it to them in their hands, which he didn't really have to, but being that he didn't, they probably feel as such that he didn't serve them. Is my opinion. But this is a picture of Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty, and they submitted this picture of them recently, pretty much proving that, this is their height and weight, um, and that the server, the process server, pretty much got their height and weight and descriptions mixed up. If you guys remember, the process server said that it was an approximation when it came to their description. He was giving an approximation. So you can't really tell somebody's height accurately, or their weight as accurately, if they're in a window. But you can tell that there is someone there making eye contact with you, and that they know and they're aware that you're at their front door and you've been there for over 20 minutes, and they chose not to open the door. So if Kenneth Petty could see him through the window, and Kenneth Petty knew he was outside trying to get in, knocking on the door. So why didn't you open the door to that man, Kenneth Petty? Um, so this is pretty much, I believe, Exhibit A, the one that they submitted. You see Nikki in her raw form. No, it looks like she has no filter, no makeup, no jewelry. And I feel like they just tried to paint a certain picture. I'm not sure where they're going with this, but they look. I'll just leave it for you guys to comment and criticize it. I'll wait for the comments. I'll give you a minute. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Um, but this is their first exhibit. So pretty much, just telling the courts, this is what we really look like, which is a bit different than what was described on the process server's document. Um, Aside from that, let's go ahead and get into
I
the
wanted to add something
declaration.
about that photo.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
I just wanted to add on the photo that they submitted. Like I've been saying, and regarding that photo and the clothes that they have on, that is the same photo that was um, done October 24th, right after they left their hotel. In my personal opinion, that they did that live on October 24th, meeting up in Queens at the Sean Bell mural with his alleged gang members. I'm not going to say the alleged gang's name, but these are the same clothes that she submitted that she's in the live on um, that night in Queens in the same clothes. I just want to point that out because I've been saying for the longest, um when she was going live on her channel with her Children of the Corn cult stand base, there was a reason while she was in New York in a hotel or a penthouse or whatever she's in. That is the same room that she has been going live in. Um, and in my personal opinion, it was to meet up not only with her lawyer, but also with his lawyer, her husband's lawyer, Kenneth's lawyer as well. Doing video chats, meeting up with them because these are the
You broke up, Queen. You broke up. I'm not sure if you could hear, but I want to go ahead and pull something up while you come back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Can y'all hear me in the chat? Y'all hear me in the chat? Ain't this the same outfit? Except for the shirt, because she got like a jacket on in the one that she provided to the courts. All right, cool. Y'all can hear me in the chat. Good. Thank you so much.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you
I
loud
can't
and
hear
clear.
you. Let me leave and I'll try and come back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, come back in. All right. So y'all remember this? Ain't that the same jeans? Same hairstyle, all that. Y'all, let me know if y'all can hear this.
Talk about it. Live about it.
It's echoing.
Okay, let me see.
Fucking money, man. What's up, man? What y'all niggas talking about, man? Where y'all niggas at, man? Yo, rap, let these niggas know, man. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm shot.
Huh? Where y'all niggas is at, man? Where y'all niggas is at, man?
Show them about records, nigga.
Come on,
Come
y'all
on, man. Y'all niggas better stop playing.
Y'all niggas know what the fuck is going on, man.
Show them about records, right? Show them about records, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
We outside. Come on, Hugh. Come on, man. Up with the videos, man. What's up, man? We out here, man. Whole gang outside, nigga. Whole fucking gang outside. What's up, man? Whole gang outside. What's up? What's up? Fuck y'all niggas at, man. Boy, what's up? All right. You got it, guys.
This is live. This is live. This is live, man.
Talk about it. Live about it. Y'all sit down. You already know, boy. Hold your head.
Y'all know what I mean?
What's up, man? Fucking money, man. What's up, man? What y'all niggas talking about, man? Where y'all niggas at?
What fucking money? What y'all niggas talking about, man? Where y'all niggas at? What money you referring to, Kenneth? Then he goes on to say, fuck all the videos. Can you take over real quick? I got an important phone call. Queen K. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll be
Where
right
did you
back.
stop at?
About him saying what he's saying on here, all these subliminal threats.
Okay. Regarding I'm gonna just start back where I was speaking about the photo. Saying that these are the same clothes that she has on. It looks like he changed his outfit from the red sweater to whatever else. But my personal opinion is that both of them have been meeting in New York for over a couple of weeks since she's been in New York speaking with his lawyer and her lawyer. Um, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and go to. Well, I'm gonna have to
Okay,
wait for him to come back. Can you hear
I'm
me?
back. Yes,
Okay,
man.
go ahead.
So
Take over.
this is pretty much the video that she did. I believe this was October 24th around there. She was in Queens, with the goons allegedly, and I put on my caption. So Nikki and Kenneth happened to go live after and during Jen's first appearance on Clubhouse yesterday. Okay, so this was October 23rd,
20,
I believe.
24th.
Okay, because I said yesterday. Okay, so yeah, I gotta fix that. But this happened right after Jennifer was on Clubhouse speaking out, and or during and after. So I spoke about it. Then I said Kenneth and Nikki were seen with their street goons in Queens, New York, yesterday night hanging out. Kenneth made threats stating he and Nikki and his gang members are outside, pretty much ready to handle business. Kenneth says things like enough with the videos, in my opinion, and allegedly, he is referring to the videos Jennifer has made with me and other bloggers. Kenneth also makes a comment along the lines of what fucking money, which can easily be translated into the money that Jen is claiming his goons offered her. In my opinion, uh, right? So, nigga, when does the juvenile malicious harmful behavior end? Hanging around alleged gangsters and hustlers that are making public subliminal threats to anyone is not a good look for your brand, nor the lawsuit Jennifer has against you. So I said it, y'all, man. This is proof. I said this back in October 24th this is not a good look for your case. And this was around the time people was criticizing Jem for going on Clubhouse. I said, well, listen, let's keep the same energy with Nicki Minaj, because her and Kenneth Petty, because they both was out here seen with goons, which is the very same thing Jennifer has been claiming time and time again, that they're affiliated with these goons. They've been sending these goons to bribe and harass and threaten her and her family, which is why she came out with the video on her YouTube channel stating, "Leave me and my family alone," Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty.
Man, yo, rap, let these niggas know, man. What's up, man?
We outside.
Huh? Where y'all niggas at, man? Where y'all niggas is at, man?
Show them about records, nigga.
Come on,
Come on, man. Y'all niggas better stop playing.
Y'all niggas know what the fuck is going on, man.
Show them about records, man. Show them about records, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
I told them this was not going to be a good look. Here we are a week or two later, and this is now part of the case. So, Tyrone Blackburn is claiming that Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty has ties and affiliations to the Mac Baller bloodshed. This is what Tyrone is claiming on this lawsuit in recent documents. So Nicki Minaj left it open for speculation. I don't think this is a good look at all. I think that she needs to be worried, and hopefully, listen, criminal charges don't follow, because this is what Tyrone has threatened in the beginning of this case. He said criminal charges may follow in the civil lawsuit case. And if criminal charges follow, then we will have to open up Pandora's box and a whole can of worms, because now we have to dig into the Marshall's investigation, which might still be a part of this case. And we have to dig in and make connections among Nicki Minaj, Kenneth Petty, and Black, which I believe have already been made or on the works. Don't quote me on this. I'm not too sure, but in my opinion, in my belief, I feel like, the Marshals do diligent work. They work rapidly, except for when they have to take their time. They take their time for several reasons. But I believe if they were doing an investigation by now, they might have a connection. And that's all I'll say on that. But what I want to really say is they better hope a criminal charge don't follow, which is why I feel like Nicki Minaj will end up settling. And then I know what's going to happen next. All these Barb blogs and all these Barbs are going to start saying, well, she got tired of the litigation. She got tired of going back and forth. She just wanted to get it over with because she knew that they was just after her money. Get the hell out of here. And we cannot wait for that day to come, can we? So I want to go ahead and get into the first page of this declaration, because so far, all of the spit that these blogs and Barbs and stuff were spitting out into the air is coming right back down and splatting on their faces. Everything that Jennifer has been claiming is apparently and evidently seemingly true, in my opinion. Kenneth Petty has stated this out his own mouth. So let's go ahead and see the first document of this declaration right now. All right, boom, here we go. Let me zoom in for you guys. You guys can take a read yourselves. Pretty much what it is saying here is, give me one moment. All right. United States District Court, Eastern District of New York. Jennifer Huff, plaintiff against Onika Tanya Mirage, a.k.a. Nicki Minaj, and Kenneth Petty, a.k.a. Zoo, defendants. Civil action number 21-CV-04568. Declaration of Kenneth Petty, right? So Kenneth Petty goes on to say, Kenneth Petty declares under penalties of perjury pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1746. 1, I am a defendant in this action and I have personal knowledge of the matters set forth in this declaration. I submit this declaration in opposition to plaintiff Jennifer Huff's motion for a default judgment. So he starts off with the default judgment, which we've already gotten into. And that whole default judgment is a whole nother debacle in this whole case. It's a whole nother web of lies, in my opinion, that Kenneth Petty and Nicki Minaj has concocted and fabricated, and that's just a whole nother can of worms waiting to really open. So we're gonna get into that on a later date. Once again, we're gonna touch on it, but he states that regarding the motion of the default judgment, that Tyrone, Jennifer's legal counsel, and Steve has presented against them, or has pretty much filed against the Pettys, right? Then he says, number two, I am advised that the plaintiff in this action, Jennifer Huff, has filed an affidavit of service from a process server who claims I was served because he personally, here we go, hold on, right? Because he personally handed me the summons. This is incorrect, and this never happened. No one ever handed me or tried to hand me the summons complaint, amended complaint, or any other document in this litigation. I did not receive the summons complaint, amended complaint, or any other document in this litigation in the mail either. If I had, I should have pulled this document right in front of me, which is the process server's declaration, which he pretty much never stated in his declaration that he handed Kenneth Petty the documents in his hands. You know what I'm saying? What he stated was that he served Kenneth Petty, which under California law, he pretty much did if he made eye contact with Kenneth Petty, whether it was through the window, the garage, don't matter where. If you made eye contact and you say you've been served, you've been served. You hear me? So I don't understand how Kenneth Petty is stating that the process server is mentioning he handed him the papers in his hands. I didn't see that on the paperwork. And if you guys want to challenge that, go ahead and look at the paperwork that these bar blogs have provided out. See if the process server said, I personally handed it to him in his hands. I didn't see that. Number three, Kenneth Petty goes on to saying on line 3, I am further advised that the affidavit of service describes the individual served as 200 pounds, 5'10". I do not, however, weigh 200 pounds, and I am not 5 feet 10 inches tall. I weigh approximately 100 to 175 pounds, and I'm only 5 foot 9 inches tall. Attached here too as exhibit example, which is the exhibit that I just showed you guys, which is the picture of Nikki and Kenneth, says this is a true and accurate picture taken on October 27, 2021 of my wife, who is approximately let's see here. What he says is, all right, we're going to go to page 2. But let me tell you something about this line 3. He says, I'm further advised that the affidavit of service describes the individual served as 200 pounds and 5'10". That's also another false claim, because clearly in the documents, the server is claiming that it's an approximate. He's approximately 200 pounds, approximately 5'10". He's not saying that this is for sure. He's not a psychic. He's not an expert at measuring. He's a process server. He's an expert at pretty much identifying someone to be the person, the servee. He's an expert at that. He's an expert at giving a description to the best of his knowledge. But no process server is they're rarely gonna get the exact weight. They're rarely gonna get the exact height. They're rarely gonna get the exact skin complexion. They can get close as possible. They can say, well, he was beige and it was really a high yellow tone, or whatever the case is. That's already something to, argue in court. So process servers are never going to give you, or rarely going to give you, rather, an exact description of the servee. You dig? Which is why keywords like approximately will be entered. All right. So let's go ahead and go into document number 2. Let's go ahead and let's see declaration number 2 from Kenneth Petty. We're gonna go ahead and open that up right now. See what he talking about in his declaration on the second page. All right, let's go. Let's go. Here on the second page, Kenneth Petty goes on, right, to saying, go ahead and bring this up here. All right. On the second page, because people were saying I didn't have the documents. I have every single piece of this document, this case. People kept saying, "Oh, Hot Shot's putting up screenshots. Hot Shot, I got the whole word." But yeah, no, I don't need to show you everything in my. I'm gonna show you what I need to show you. I'm not going into the whole case right now. I'm going into Kenneth's declaration. So on the next page, let's see. Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Yeah. So he goes and he says here, Nicki Minaj is 5'2". Remember, he was saying he was giving a description. So in the beginning of this page, he says Nicki Minaj is 5'2". And that was a picture of him and her. Then on line 4, he says, further, there is no person who resides in my house or who was present there on September 15th, 2021, who fits the description contained in the affidavit of service. So were you present, Mr. Kenneth Petty? Was Nicki Minaj present? You said no one who fits the description contained in the affidavit of service was present in your home that day of September 15th, 2021. But
Right,
were
he's being
you
manipulative with the words that he's choosing to speak and to say. He's trying to say put out there like no one, because you have to decipher everything, and I pretty much do that. He's trying to say that no one else was in the home that fits that description that the server gave the estimated height and weight. Again, that's an estimation of a height and weight. It wasn't that too much off, 175 to 200 pounds. His height, I mean, it wasn't that much off. He didn't say he was 300 pounds versus 175 pounds. He didn't say he was 6'7" versus the 5'10", 5'9" height. He estimated his height and weight. He estimated, and then Nikki is putting her height and weight or whatever in the declaration. Now, if no one was at your home on that date, what you don't know is that you're telling on yourself. And this is my professional opinion, my legal professional opinion in this declaration. If you are saying, and you guys have to listen and read this clearly, if you are stating in this document that no one was in your home with this estimated height and weight regarding the description of you, then since you said your weight is 175 pounds and your height is what you stated, evidently you are the figure in the window that that the server was speaking of, that made eye contact with you, and you are indeed the person that your security officer said that said that you were in the home, the only person in the home, and you are the only one who can give permission for someone to come through the gate. You are indeed the person that the server saw. That's all I wanted to say on that part. Sorry.
nah, that's perfectly fine. And this makes perfect sense. It's like if you this is so, ladies and gentlemen, this is so simple for Nicki Minaj to debunk if she in fact is telling the truth. This is so simple. Most celebrities that we know in the real world, most celebrities have surveillance footage. Thank you, Mystical. Why isn't Nicki providing the surveillance footage? Why Why isn't Kenneth providing the surveillance footage? Why is so simple? Why isn't Nikki providing the call records for the security guard that the process server claims spoke with Kenny at the time of his arrival? This is easily debunkable. Why isn't she debunking this in a court of law? Why isn't she providing all this evidence, Mrs. Queen of Receipts? Let's talk about it.
I wanted to add something else.
Oh, sure.
I also wanted to add, all during the weeks of them trying to get served, she was at home. She went live in her home. If you go back and look at her lives and you look at the walls and the crown molding and the ceilings 2 months ago where they took Christmas photos, or her previous lives, they are the same crown molding, the same color of walls that she was in. Just wanted to add that in
Right.
there. They were home because that was when she was going live, and also when she was on Twitter ranting, stating that she was not going anywhere. She was home. She stated on Twitter that she refused to do a couple of shows and she was at home.
Absolutely.
Because she didn't want to allegedly catch the 19.
Oh, but
So
she did bounce to New York. That's correct as well. She went to New York, I believe, twice, if in my opinion, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe she was also home at the time of being served. But yeah, she went to. That's when she went to New York and chill with Rihanna and all that. So she was definitely in New York. Um, and allegedly, word on the curb was that she was looking to buy one of Rihanna's penthouses in New York, one of her old penthouses or whatever the case may be. Not sure how true that is, but yeah, that's what I heard. That was the word on the street. But she was definitely in New York. I feel like she was there back and forth to meet with her lawyers, meet with her goons, and things of that nature. And things of that nature. So on page 2 of Kenneth Petty's declaration, line 4, he goes on to saying, further, there is no person who resides in my house who was present there on September 15, 2021, who fits the description contained in the affidavit of service, my attempts to obtain counsel. Line 5, my failure to respond to the amended complaint by the date which plaintiff claims was my last day to do so was due to difficulties in obtaining counsel and a miscommunication. So he's pretty much using the same raggedy excuse that Nicki Minaj used on her declaration as to why they didn't respond to this lawsuit in a timely manner. And his excuse being that he had difficulties in obtaining counsel, which I feel is a bunch of baloney in the words of Judge Judy. I feel like it's a bunch of baloney, and I'll tell you why. First of all, why is Nicki Minaj or Kenneth Petty for that matter in charge of obtaining legal counsel? This is a superstar, an A-list celebrity. Why are you going out your way, out of your busy schedule, if you still have one, to go obtain legal counsel? Why are you saying I had trouble? Why is it that in this court document, in this declaration, Kenneth also states, which we'll get to in a minute, that you guys had trouble because a lot of the lawyers were really expensive? Don't you claim and flaunt and floss online like you have it like that, like you're rich, made millionaire? Listen, like you claim like you that Don Queen. How the hell was $100,000 too much money for you when it comes to defending your lies? Allegedly, in my opinion, how is $100,000 too much money for you? That's what they're claiming in this declaration. So they had trouble in finding, or I believe that's what they ended up paying for Judd. But we're going to go ahead and get into it so we'll know the true facts of the matter. I believe that's a bunch of baloney. First of all, why are they in charge? There should be a management team. She claims that she coincidentally had issues with her management team, some woman that she recently had hired, I believe, and had miscommunication and trouble with her relaying or retaining the lawyer in New York by the name of Judd Burstein, which is currently her legal counsel, her legal representation is in this case. So why is Nikki in charge of obtaining or retaining this lawyer? Why is Kenneth? It doesn't make sense. And like I said on Instagram, the lies continue to pour in. Let's go ahead and read line 6 on page 2. It says, after learning about the amended complaint, I diligently sought to obtain counsel and spoke with a number of lawyers about representing me in this action. My New York lawyer does not do this type of civil litigation because, oh, well, I didn't know you had a New York lawyer and a Cali lawyer, Kenneth. Are those the same lawyers that Jennifer was alleging you sent to contact her or offer their legal advice to?
I think these are the lawyers that he's speaking about regarding New York versus he's the complaint that he
Oh, the
filed
case
against New
that
York
he filed
for
against
the
New York, right? For the according to him, miss false level of offense or whatever. So then he says, because, however, I'm married to a wealthy celebrity. Let me take this off the screen so you guys can read the entire thing. It says, because I'm married to a wealthy celebrity, lawyers I spoke with asked for outrageous fees and sought exorbitant retainers, such as $100,000. So, how is $100,000? Listen, if you're defending your truth, then first of all, New York lawyer fees ain't too different from Cali lawyer fees. They're both expensive. So if you guys are paying for lawyers in Cali, I'm sure you guys were paying well over $100,000, especially if you guys had retained Kylie Jenner's lawyers at some point. Or Nikki had retained Kylie Jenner's lawyers at some point. So I don't understand how he's using the New York lawyer fees of $100,000 as an excuse to say that they were trying to overcharge him and Nikki because Nikki is a celebrity, a superstar. That seems bogus. And the judge is going to look at this, in my opinion, like, yo, you can't pay $100,000 to protect your ass, to save yourself. These allegations are ferocious. There should be no price on your protection. If you could spend $100,000 on a Rolls Royce or whatever truck, whatever cars you got in that garage, you could spend it on your lawyers. So, of course, you got to pay some bread when you're a celeb. Make that shit make sense. So this is the beginning of Kenneth's declaration, which already seems like a whole bunch of bull. Then he goes on to saying, during this time, my wife, a co-defendant in this action, also was seeking to obtain counsel and was in the process of retaining Judd Burstein, Esquire, to represent her in this action. Mr. Burstein had agreed to help me obtain counsel. Due, however, to a miscommunication between Mr. Burstein and my wife and I both mistakenly believed that Mr. Burstein had retained. Hold on. Mr. Burstein had retained. And then we're going to go on to the third document. And was looking for counsel for me. Listen, this is supposed to be, because I know these lawyers type up your declarations for you and pretty much try to polish it up and make it sound a little bit more professional and stuff like that. But damn, this lawyer typed it up for Kenneth and still made him sound dumb.
Are you dumb?
Where do we find these people? Then he goes on to saying there was a miscommunication between Burstein and Nikki, and because of the miscommunication, he was delayed because Burstein was the one who was supposed to be finding legal counsel for Kenneth. This miscommunication is discussed in the declaration of Judd Burstein and the declaration of Onika Tanya Mirage, previously filed with the court, true and correct copies of which are collectively attached hereto as example number 2. On line number,
I have a question.
yeah, sure.
Excuse me. Okay, so where he's stating where the paralegal typed saying said that no, go back where you had it at.
Hold on. I got you right now.
Go back where you had it, the document up where you were.
All right. Hold on.
I just want to point out something.
All right. So we was at 7.
Okay, where he stated that his Nikki, you keep zooming out. Go back. Just leave it how you had it at first. Okay. So where Kenneth says that he did not have legal counsel and Nikki's lawyer was supposed to help him find legal counsel because his lawyers that he hired in California are not um privy to this civil case that he has going on with the plaintiff. So my thing is, if he was supposed to give you a referral, a referral for another lawyer, why did it have to take her retaining, and I'm gonna say this again, retaining Judd first in order for him to give him a referral, and then he retained his lawyer? Evidently, Mr. Bernstein had been giving him legal advice, just as he was giving Nikki legal advice beforehand.
Absolutely. I'm glad you always use it, but I'm glad you're putting these things out for people to use critical thinking. Because the same way Queen K is pointing these things out is the same way the courts most likely will point these things out and ask these questions. Why was it difficult or impossible for you to obtain free legal counsel or free legal advice? If you guys already had a communication with Burstein, you guys admitted that you guys were already in touch with Burstein. So it
Is that
wasn't clear, according to them, that Burstein was already retained by Nikki. But if you guys were already in communication with Burstein, why not ask Burstein, hey, give me that info that you promised to give me. Give me that lawyer's number and lawyer's address so that I could retain him for this legal case in New York, for this litigation against Jennifer Huff? Why not ask Mr. Burstein that?
it doesn't make any sense, common sense or legal sense in my professional opinion. Why would, I'm going to say this again, why would a qualified lawyer like Bernstein tell Kenneth, dealing with a serious case and he has 21 days or however many days to retain a lawyer, which in my opinion he was already getting legal assistance from Mr. Bernstein before the alleged so-called retainer, and Nikki was as well. In my professional opinion, they were both getting legal counsel from him regarding, it doesn't even matter about the retainer. They were already getting legal counsel from him. So my
Right.
thing is again, why does she have to retain Bernstein in order to get a referral, which is free to get a referral for another lawyer, for a lawyer for Kenneth Petty, and then he retains a lawyer. It doesn't make any sense in my professional opinion. And I have over 16 to 20 years of criminal justice, local, federal, and state background. So it does not make any sense to me for her to retain Bernstein first, and then he gives him information on getting a lawyer.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely not. Which I'm telling you guys exactly. Oop, that doesn't make any sense. Why did Kenneth wait? Right. And we'll get into why they waited on another show. Oh yeah, that's all gonna unfold. But I'm telling you guys, shit's gonna hit the fan, and I think they're trying to push this as far as they can so that they can look as innocent as possible. Once they can't push any further, they will buckle and fold at the knees. You dig? But yeah, since they want to go ahead and put up a good fight, let's go ahead because it's not good at all. It's looking really weak at this point. So this is actually in my eyes, this is a win for Jennifer. This whole declaration on Kenneth's part is like a win for me, in my opinion, because he says so much incriminating shit. Let's go ahead and continue reading. He says, 7, after Mr. Burstein was retained by my wife, he referred me to my current counsel. I immediately retained my current counsel, and he soon thereafter filed the instant motion, the allegations and this amended complaint. Let's talk about the allegations, right? So line number 8 on page 2 of Kenneth Petty's declaration, he says, plaintiff, meaning Jennifer, falsely alleges that I raped her and that I was convicted of rape. Plaintiff knows these allegations are not true. I was not convicted of raping plaintiff in 1994. 27. Hold up. This is a really interesting one. This is a really let's go ahead. Let's go to page 3. Let's go to page 3. Because this is a really interesting one. Yeah, we going to page 3, baby. Because he's claiming now on this line 8 that he never raped Jennifer. We knew that. We knew Kenneth Petty was going to claim he never raped Jennifer. I'm almost positive he ain't never admit that shit to Nikki either. So why would he admit it to the courts? Why would he admit it to anybody? This is something that he's probably uh once gone for the rest. Just he never wants this shit brought back up. Why would he tell Nikki he raped Jennifer? You think Nikki would have got with him? He lied with Nikki, even though, in my opinion, but at this point, if you don't know he lied to you, then you got a problem too. But he damn sure, in my opinion, allegedly lied to Nikki and told her that he never raped her, that it was consensual. And we knew that this is what he would say in the court documents as well. So he says 27 years ago, that Jennifer lied. Because in the documents, Tyrone Blackburn is claiming that he was convicted of raping Jennifer, or that he was charged of rape. That was his original charge, ladies and gentlemen. Tyrone Blackburn made no mistake and did not lie when he stated that Kenneth Petty was being charged for rape. That was his original charge, along with kidnapping, along with a whole bunch of sexual assault, and a whole bunch of other incriminative charges that would have really took him down if he would have never took his plea deal and got attempted rape charge instead.
I want to say some. Well, go ahead. I'll let you finish up. I just want to.
Yeah. So Kenneth is claiming pretty much that Jennifer's declaration is incorrect because he was convicted of attempted rape. Now, I'm showing all the facts, Pamela. You already know, baby. Listen, I'm getting to the facts with receipts. You know, as we all know, Jennifer's initial accusation, Kenneth Petty's initial charge was for rape, not attempted rape. Kenneth Petty was convicted of attempted rape because he took a plea deal. Remember, the state took over the case and they pretty much negotiated a plea deal with Kenneth Petty. He took the plea deal, which is why he ended up doing 4.5 years, and which is why he got the charge or the conviction of attempted rape. But the initial charge, the initial complaint was for rape. So that's why rape is on Jennifer's declaration and not attempted rape. Because according to Jen, he raped her. Man, I tell you, they love to make the lies up. When they love to make the lies up. So let's go ahead and continue reading. He says, I pled guilty to and was convicted of attempted rape. Attached here to as example 3 is a true and correct copy of the sentence and commitment from a form from my criminal case, which reflects that I was convicted of attempted rape and not of rape. Now, he submitted a copy of, one of his court documents at that time, which pretty much is stating that what his conviction was. That's all. It's pretty much says his name, his address, and it says his conviction was attempted rape. We don't even have to put it up on the screen because I'm not debating that. We all know he got a conviction of attempted rape. He's providing that to the courts to try to justify that Tyrone pretty much entered an incorrect conviction. But Tyrone didn't just enter the conviction. He entered the charges, the initial charges that were brought up against Kenneth Petty in the 1995 case with Jennifer and Kenneth Petty. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because people like making stuff up. People listen, these bar blogs keep lying to these bars, man. They keep making y'all think like everything's okay. Everything's okay. Nikki got the upper hand. She's doing good. She's doing good. Don't let that fool you. These are the facts. Unbiased facts. I'm not just saying it because I believe Jennifer. I'm saying it because these are the facts. And the same way I could point these out and see all these discrepancies is the same way a judge in the court of law is going to point these things out too. Let's continue reading. So then line number 9 on page 3 of Kenneth Petty's declaration in this case goes on to saying, and I quote, I never raped the plaintiff, aka Jennifer, and I deny her accusations of rape contained in the amended complaint. I also deny all of plaintiff's allegations in the amended complaint that I committed any improper conduct, sexual abuse, and or sexual assault. The sexual encounter between plaintiff and I, which occurred 27 years ago, was consensual, and plaintiff was a willing participant. I did not force plaintiff into a house. I did not force plaintiff to have sex with me, and I did not sexually or physically assault plaintiff in any way. Well, that's pretty interesting, Kenneth Petty, because the court, police records and all that pretty much state otherwise. There was a rape kit. You pretty much gave like 3 different fucking stories at this time, 1995, when you got picked up in a paddy wagon by the boys. You pretty much gave like 3 different stories. So how is anything that you say now any credible or any more credible than what you said back then? Because if you wasn't credible back then and you gave 3 different fairy tales, and you damn sure ain't credible now after Jennifer's putting out a lawsuit against you. Like, who do these people think they dealing with? We ain't kids over here, man. We got a brain. We got a brain. So he's claiming, of course, that Jennifer's lying on all her allegations, of course, because he's never going to admit or want to admit, for that matter, that he raped Jennifer, right? He'll lose it all. He'll lose it all if he makes that admission. He says he never raped the plaintiff, that it was consensual. Why, if it was consensual and it never happened, did you mention in your police report that you saw the plaintiff that day? Right? Then he goes, I did not force plaintiff into a house. Okay, so then why was there a cut mark, a cut scar described on those police reports as well on Jennifer's stomach? Why did they describe a cut on her stomach? Why did the police confiscate a weapon, a knife, which appeared to be the description that Jennifer gave from your home, Kenneth Petty? Or shall we say your parents' home? Allegedly, right? Why? Why? Um, he goes on to say, I did not force plaintiff to have sex with me, and I did not sexually or physically assault plaintiff in any way, nor did I threaten plaintiff. I pled guilty to attempted rape despite my innocence because I was a scared 16-year-old kid and was told that my sentence would be 20 years to life if I did not plead guilty to attempted rape. So now he's saying,
Incorrect.
right, please elaborate.
Okay, let's start from where he's saying that he never violated or the R word, the plaintiff. He's denying even doing anything to her forcibly. It was consensual. Okay. So in 27 years ago, 1994, he committed this crime. Now, I want to go back to the original police report where he denied even knowing Jennifer or seeing her today. So, the original case, let me go to it 1 second. Okay. So, when the police officers arrested him and they were interviewing him and they questioned him about the victim, he claimed that he didn't even see her, that he said, well, first he says, after speaking with the girl, he said he went home and fell asleep, but then also admitted that he slept with her before. Then he says that he never saw her that day. Then he says another lie where he says that when they told him that he did see her, they went, and he tells the story saying that he admits that he did see her, but he saw her at the bus stop, that he went home and just fell asleep. So he tells four different stories until he admits that he did see her. But then he says he had consensual sex with her before. I don't know if he means like before, you know, in the past, or that same morning. So another thing I wanted to point out with this original case, if you did not violate her, there was DNA. She ran to her school with blood from the cut. They took a rape kit. They took her clothes. Trained people, medical staff, trained officers concluded that she was indeed violated by examining her clothes, taking DNA, and examining her. That she was violated sexually. And it wasn't consensual. They can tell if it was consensual sex by examining someone, and they can tell by the way that the person was violated if it was a forcible, non-consensual violation to that person. Now he goes along and says that he never violated her. And did you get to the part where he's trying to go against New York? Said he wasn't properly He didn't get a chance to fight for, being on the registry. But I want to go to where what his charges are. One moment. Let me go to it. He's claiming that he only pleaded attempted rape because he could not do the 20 years and that he was innocent. But your charges, you pleaded this because it's a lesser charge. It's a lesser time, not because you were innocent. Because if you were innocent, you wouldn't plead it to attempted rape either. It's just a lesser charge rather than you go for 20 years for rape. It's just a lesser charge. Why didn't you or your parents or the lawyer that you had say that you did not rape the victim, make that case when you were going to court? Why didn't your lawyer that you had say that you didn't rape her? Why plead to a lesser charge? Evidently because the evidence that they had concluded with what the judge agreed with, that you did violate her. Okay, so let me one moment. I'm trying to scroll and find out what those charges were. Give me a moment. I'm sorry.
Nah, you good. But it says,
I got his charges. I just want to go over because I got something to say.
okay,
Okay, he was not only charged with attempted rape, he was charged in the first degree of lawful imprisonment in the second degree, assault in the second degree, and criminal possession of a weapon in the fourth degree. All these first, second, and fourth degrees, they have the evidence. They have the knife. They
right,
have the assault, which she has marks from her getting assaulted. You you pled for that attempted rape. You did 4 years, okay? 96 to what? 96, 97, 98, 99 to 2000. You did 4 years, allegedly. So now you want to say that you never had the chance to say that you were innocent. Well, Mr. Petty, you had that during the time you were going to court, and you also had it during the time that you were released, because you're automatically on the registry when you're released. That leads, and this is my professional opinion right here. This goes to where you're stating in 2004, where you were already in jail or in prison for another crime, where you did not receive a hearing so that you can fight this. This is 2004. So you did 4 years, and then 2004 gets here, and you're claiming that you didn't have a chance to voice your opinion about you being on the registry, where you had already been released from the original crime, and you already had to register. It doesn't make sense to where you want to come into 2021 and say in 2004 that something was allegedly not signed by you because you were in jail, but you were already on the registry when you were released prior to 2004, where they send you a hearing where you can dispute being on the registry. You were already registering. It doesn't make any sense. Can't fool me, not legally. It doesn't make any sense. And then you wait until 2021 where you're in this declaration saying that the victim is wanting money. Well, why did you wait until 2021 to say that you did not violate the victim? Why did you wait until 2021 to have an issue with registering where you were already registering from the 4 years that you were released from the original case? It doesn't make any sense since
right,
you want to throw out in the declaration that the victim is only doing this because you have a celebrity wife. Maybe you're doing this because you have a celebrity wife. and you know that she can pull some strings.
Absolutely my belief.
She can pull some strings to help you with getting your name off the registry. And indeed, you keep saying that the victim does not have to recant her story. In my legal profession, that is a lie that you're telling. And you are knowingly telling a lie, Mr. Petty, because if a victim recants their story and writes a letter saying that they want to recant their story to, that would have helped you because you were trying to pursue to take your name off the registry beforehand. That would have assisted with your complaint that you filed with the New York City courts, trying to get your name off of the registry. And I think you're full of bull crap. That's all I wanted to say. It's just I don't understand why people can't see what he's doing and what they're trying to do, but I see what they're doing.
I agree. Why, if he felt Jennifer's allegations are all false, why, if he felt like he got wrongfully convicted, why, if he felt like he got an erroneous offense of level 2 sex offender, um, why did he not fight this 27 years ago, like he said? Why is he waiting till after Jennifer puts out a lawsuit against him and Nikki to even try to fight anything regarding this case of 27 years ago? You clearly wasn't worried about your conviction or your level of offense 27 years ago, Mr. Kenneth. Why the hell are you worried about it now that Jennifer's suing you? Shout out to All About the Trees. Yeah, so Nicki Minaj is the way you going down. Oh, you already know. Is she? Shout out to you. Is she? JM, exactly. He's such a liar. Why not? This is all making sense. Everything, all the pieces is coming together, guys. Remember, these bar blogs were saying at one point, Nikki and Kenneth don't need to contact Jennifer in order to get her to recant to get him off the registry because he's about to come off. So they were trying to push a narrative, or one of the many that they were trying to push was that Jennifer's recanting had no value, no essential value to Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. So there was no way that Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty could be after a recant if Kenneth Petty was coming off the registry any moment now. Well, we now see that was a whole bunch of baloney as well. They, in fact, needed and wanted so desperately, in my opinion, allegedly, Jennifer to recant her story so that Kenneth Petty doesn't have to go through any of this anymore, so that Kenneth Petty doesn't have to keep registering, so that Nicki Minaj doesn't look like she's married to a sex offender, so that pretty much Nicki Minaj's statements on her social media about Jennifer being in a relationship and never getting raped and this, that, and third seems more credible. So they was trying to do a cleanup. They was trying to sweep house. They was trying to kill a couple of birds with one stone. But he now wants to sue the state of New York just to deflect and distract everybody from the real case at hand. He wants to sue the case in New York for falsely giving him a level of a sex offender. This is some bull. And if you ask me, he ain't winning that case either. He is not winning that case either. Why would you think that? I stand with Jen. I have nothing to do with a barb. That's offensive to me. Okay. Go to fuck off. Thank you, Jessica Parker. Gene, say that. Yes, ma'am. You already know. Prim B, facts. Absolutely. All facts. Majestic says, I feel like he failed to register and got caught, and that's when he tried to use Jen as an out for all it. Of course. For it all, which was just bad thinking and criminal as fuck. Of course, Majestic. And this is where it all stems from. That's when the harassments really started pouring in. Snooky Stackhouse, shout out to you. Welcome to the show. Kaz, what's going on, family? Trouble in the Bubble says the story I heard was he wasn't on the registry after the initial release. The
I
law
want to
changed while he was incarcerated for the redrum.
I want to say something as well. Another thing, my in my professional opinion, okay? Because again, people keep pointing out, and Mr. Petty allegedly in this declaration is is so adamant about the word attempted rape. Okay, and I've seen other people keep saying attempted rape, attempted rape. He didn't rape her. It's attempted rape. Okay, so let me school you people. Attempted rape is fondling or unwanted sexual touching, forcing a victim to perform sexual acts such as oral sex or penetrating the perpetrator's body, penetration of the victim's body, also known as rape. Okay? That's what the legal term of attempted rape is, okay? Now, he got attempted rape in the first degree in New York, okay? So because there's different degrees, so I'm gonna give you that. Rape in the first degree is also classified as a violent felony offense. As such, if you are convicted, you will face a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years prison or maximum sentence of 25 years. Okay, that's what first degree means. It's a violent felony offense. Also, I want to say one moment. Also, I want to give a definition of this word because a lot of people are looking over this word. One moment. Forcible compulsion. That definition, the legal term definition for that means physical force that overcomes earnest resistance or a threat expressed or implied that places a person in fear or immediate death or serious physical injury to himself or herself or another person. Under the law, a person is guilty of rape in the first degree when they or she engages in sexual intercourse with another person by forcible compulsion. That is another element of rape. So
Yes, we
when
did.
you're out here, and these are two, I didn't want to shine any light to these so-called YouTuber bloggers. When you don't have any criminal justice feel, I think you should be quiet and say less. When you try and push a narrative on any victim, you need to be quiet and say less. If you don't have an undergrad, if you didn't take the bar exam, if you don't have a criminal justice degree, if you don't have a master's degree, you need to say less and just say it's your opinion, your personal biased opinion, particularly regarding this victim. That's what you should say on your channels. Not push a narrative and say that this particular victim was not violated sexually. You can't say these things. You will be held liable for the things that you say, and you're totally incorrect. This victim was violated. Attempted rape, that's an element of rape. He pled guilty to a lesser charge to get lesser time. He stated that in the declaration. If he was innocent, he would have been found innocent. And I think it's disgusting for people to compare this to the five exonerated young black men from New York when a particular blogger wasn't even born back then. That was during my era. And I remember the case very vividly. Those five young teenage boys were accused because they were poor, black, and they weren't even there in the vicinity of that park when that chaos happened. Do you guys even know what happened to in that case for you to be comparing Kenneth to those five black men? And I
Completely
think
different.
all those five black men would disagree and would not like you guys comparing what happened to them to this case regarding Kenneth Petty. They would be absolutely disgusted with being compared to this case and to this person. I know that personally because
Absolutely.
I
And
ran
not
across because I ran it across to one of the gentlemen.
mm,
So you guys better be careful comparing them to the Central Park Five gentlemen because one of them is absolutely disgusted that you are comparing their case to what happened to this victim because they absolutely do not stand for a victim to be slandered and a convicted alleged attempted rapist that was convicted to be compared to what they went through is disgusting. And his case is nowhere near what happened to to them as children and to their parents. This is not a case of a man that did something and was wrongfully accused. He literally lied in his original case of even seeing this victim. He lied four times. He gave four different statements. Again, just be careful of trying to push a narrative of trying to slander the victim. It's just disgusting. And again, attempted rape is another element of rape. It's a lesser charge. And I want to point out again, why would this person wait until 2021 when he gets with a celebrity wife or girlfriend to wait to fight this? Why didn't he wait? Why didn't he fight this the 20 years he was registering? It doesn't make any sense legally or logically. It doesn't
morally.
make any sense. Why didn't he fight this 20 the 20 years prior to him being with Nikki in 2018, 2019, I'm sorry.
Right.
Why?
Absolutely. And Jeffrey James says not only that, the state of New York didn't need Jennifer to convict him. They had enough evidence of their own to prosecute his ass. I agree. If I'm fucking innocent, especially of a charge of this magnitude, I'm going to the end of the world with my innocence. I don't give a damn about a lawyer fee, a jury, any of that. If I know for sure I ain't commit this crime, I'm fighting my innocence to the end of the world, to the end of time. I ain't taking a plea deal. I ain't taking a plea deal. If you was innocent, you should have fought your innocence. There's DAs. You ain't gotta have $10,000 for a lawyer. If you have enough credible supporting evidence to support your innocence, you could have gotten a DA to fight your case, and it would have been easy peasy. You wouldn't need a high profile, an expensive lawyer because you're innocent. Um, Vanderveer says he brought Nikki $1 million ring, so he got money. I think Nikki bought herself allegedly $1 million ring, but yeah. Pamela Hurt says, Kenneth Petty, you are guilty, guilty, guilty. Absolutely. It's Gene says, I'm late. What's up, yo? What up, Yeen? He worried about it because he want to be a jet setter with his wife. Right. He want to be able to travel with no restrictions. He want to be able to be around kids with no restrictions. He want to be able to, work in this industry without Nicki Minaj's career getting tainted and tarnished, and pretty much him being the blame for it. A lot of the barbs don't agree with this whole relationship, and they don't like him for Nicki, and I don't blame them. These are the woke barbs. Can't say the same for all of them. But she can't take him nowhere. Right. Well, he got a little bit of a leeway now because now she signed him up as a manager or some shit, some kind of employee in the music industry. Peace and love is like that white girl who finally admitted that young black boy didn't assault her and he was locked up. They dropped all the charges and removed him. He's an embarrassment like his wifey. All right, let's go ahead and continue reading these court documents. I'm quietly listening from the bushes. What up, Lenny? Thanks for listening and tuning in. Lenny in the house, Lenny in the building, you dig? Who else? Shaking my head, sick asses. Yup. Lizzie, hey, hun. She is the beneficiary. He ain't care. Did he get charged for murder in the beginning and was reduced to manslaughter? Is he okay with that, but not Jen? Right. Right. So he was okay with being reduced to manslaughter. That's a great point, my small space. Thank you, sis. He was a great point to getting his murder charge reduced to manslaughter, but he wasn't okay with getting Jen's rape charge reduced to attempted rape because now he's trying to sue the city. He feels like he shouldn't have gotten any charge or any jail time for his animal criminalistic ways. You're an animal. You're a beast. And you should pay the consequences. You got let off for just 4.5 years. That was a pat on the back, homie. Let's go ahead and continue. UK in the house. You already know, Lizzie. Welcome from UK all the way to the US. Jerica James says peace and love. That ain't the same. This nigga guilty. Yeah, that really much. I can't compare. I can't say that was a good comparison, but it was the same scenario. But thank you, Tanisha. Much love to all of you as well. Eclipse, yup, definitely a PR move for her celebrity status, right? They were making all these dumb excuses for their queen. It's so weird and creepy trying to protect the sickos. People like that are just sick. Absolutely. And it's funny because you brought up a great point. Once they get debunked, once the shit that Jen's been saying comes to the light, just like it has right now with this declaration, a lot of shit came to the light. These celebrities, I mean, these Barb blogs go on to spinning a new narrative, a new lie, new false narratives, defending and justifying the new or the new statements or the new accusations. Is so weird and so creepy and evil and vile, if you ask me, because you see now that Kenneth Petty does know black. You see now that there was a phone call from Nicki Minaj made to Jennifer, and you're still now saying, well, no, it was Jennifer who called Nicki. Nicki didn't call her. She called Nicki. Her and Black planned this to extort Nicki. You're still trying to cover up and make excuses for some shit that you know damn well happened. It is so sickening. Because at this point, these bar blogs shouldn't even be considered to be credible. You guys lied boldly. You lied about the whole Good Morning America interview, and I'm not letting it go. Nope, because you fucking lied and challenged me on it. I'm still waiting for you to challenge me on it and provide those receipts that you said you had about you having the photos that were in our phones days before we even posted it. And I'm still waiting for the receipts that you said you had on the information about Jennifer doing a Good Morning America interview. And I'm still waiting for you to answer the lies you stated of Nicki Minaj never calling Jennifer, and the lies y'all stated of Black never even being a real person, a real character in this whole scenario, in this whole case, of Black never even knowing Nicki and Kenneth Petty. Clear that up. I challenge you. Before you continue speaking and lying on Jennifer and harassing her, clear those fucking lies up to your audience, your viewers, your subscribers, whoever the hell it is that's watching your corny asses. Clear that up first, and then come back with some new shit. Because I'm tired of the same old bullshit lies. It's like every time shit hit the fan, oh, well, no, this couldn't have happened this way because it's Nicki Minaj and she's rich and famous. And
I have something to add to this.
Go ahead.
Back to the original case regarding the R word. I wanted to say, if it was consensual, where are your witnesses to say that you and the victim were dating? If it was consensual and you guys have a history of having consensual sexual relations, where were your witnesses from the original case? Because there have been things thrown out by his family members saying that they were dating. She saw one of his exes, one of his girlfriends come over and she got upset. Well, where's the girlfriend at? So that she could have been his witness. It doesn't make any sense. If it was
Right.
consensual, if they had prior relations, where are his witnesses? Why didn't his parents become a witness and say that they were together?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense because I know if it was my son and I knew my son had been dealing with a female and she allegedly lies and say that she was violated, I would say no, they've been together. Where are your witnesses from the original case to coincide with what you're saying?
Right. And remember, we had his sister on here on this show, and she came on here to try to defend his name and said that back then she remember seeing Jen in the house, coming to hang out with Kenneth Petty. Jen stated that that was a lie, and pretty much called her out on it. If that's the case, if the sister is a witness to Jennifer being in the house and the family, the parents is a witness to Jennifer hanging out in that house with Kenneth Petty, and they were boyfriend and girlfriend at that time, why didn't they testify that in court at the time of the incident? Absolutely great point.
Another thing I would like to point out, people keep pushing this again, the narrative that he was this poor black kid. I'm not, debating on if they were had money or not, but the narrative that they keep pushing, where was his support system? I mean, his parents were there. His parents are still married. So where are you guys pushing? Why are you guys pushing this narrative that he didn't have anyone when his parents were there? His parents allegedly tried to get the victim to change her story
Both his parents.
illegally,
Wasn't no single parent struggle going on. There was two parents there.
working. And again, in your last show, I pointed out, how Nikki said that he couldn't afford the $7,000 bill, but I pulled up how much 10 or 20%, which is the legal law for New York, for a person to have to pay in order to get out of jail. $7,000 from, which is 10 or 20%. I don't know which one they use, the 10 or the 20%. They didn't have to pay the $7,000.
Right.
And like I said, where are your witnesses? Where are the people that are supporting you now? Where were they when you were going through this? Why didn't they get on the stand and testify and say that you were in a relationship with the victim?
Absolutely. And Makeup Girl brings up another great point. He had no problem registering when he wasn't with Nikki. For over 20 years, he was registering faithfully.
Right, that's what I said. He was registering this entire time. He was aware of the hearing that was sent to him in 2004 prior to him getting released for whatever crime he was in jail for in 2004. You were aware of you still having to register. Why didn't you say that back then that you didn't receive a hearing notice because you were incarcerated? Why didn't you go dispute that then? Why dispute that 20 some, 15 some years later when you get with a celebrity?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the pieces just keep falling into place. Let's go ahead and finish reading this document because there's a lot more important um, and informative stuff in here. So, line number 10 on this is page 3, I believe. Plaintiff also alleges that I caused various people to harass, threaten, or intimidate her. So Kenneth Petty is saying that Jennifer claims that and alleges that he sent his goons after her. In other words, I deny that I ever did this. The overwhelming majority of the allegations contained in the amended complaint are too vague and conclusory for me to specifically deny each one herein. Accordingly, I will only address certain of the more specific allegations. As stated, however, I deny all of the material allegations in the amended complaint of improper conduct. Line 11 says, I have never directly or indirectly intimidated, harassed, or threatened plaintiff in any way, which is false. 12 says, I have never directly or indirectly intimidated, harassed, or threatened any of plaintiff's relatives in any way. 13 says, I have never requested that anyone intimidate, harass, or threaten plaintiff or any of plaintiff's relatives. 14 says, I never asked anyone to contact plaintiff, including the individuals identified.
Again, I want to point this out again. So, what was the purpose of you just giving Black your wife's, which is a A-list celebrity known nationwide? Why would you give him your wife's phone number
We
to
gonna get into
speak with
that
her?
right now. Hold on, Queen, because this is the one that I'm bringing up. That's those lines that you're talking about right here. And then, so let me just give them context. Let me read these lines real quick, and I want you to start elaborating on exactly what you was about to just say. But this is what Queen is talking about. This is page 4 of Kenneth Petty's declaration. Line 15 says, plaintiff claims that she was contacted by an individual named Barry Dukes. Keep in mind, y'all, Barry Dukes is also known as Black, right? The individual that Jennifer's been claiming to be one of the intermediaries this whole time for Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty, and one of the people that was actually offering making the bribe offers. Kenneth says, my wife and I grew up in the same neighborhood with Black. These bar blogs love to spin a false narrative, man. But here goes Kenneth Petty spilling the beans, and he's throwing Black under the bus. If you ask me, he throws Black under the bus a few times in his declaration. But then he goes on to say, although we are not close to each other, key words, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to pay attention to this. And that's right under the red highlighter. It says, my wife and I grew up in the same neighborhood with Black, although we are not close to each other. To be absolutely clear. And now this is Kenneth Petty's declaration under penalty of perjury, and he is lying straight to the judge's face, and I'm going to tell you why. He goes on to say, they know Black from the neighborhood, but they are not close to each other. So meaning Kenneth and Nicki are not close to Black. He's a neighborhood associate, right? Then he goes on to saying, I would not and did not ask him to contact or communicate on my behalf with plaintiff, being Jennifer. He says he never asked Black to contact Jennifer. Then he goes on to saying, I did not know Black was communicating with plaintiff until he asked me for my wife's phone number. Now, how would you not know that Black was communicating with Jennifer, but you knew that he asked you for your wife's phone number? Something so intimate. Listen, I wouldn't even let my closest homie ask me for my wife's phone. What the fuck you want my wife's number for, man? What the hell you want with my wife? What the hell would you possibly want with my wife, a neighborhood associate that I grew up with, that I have no ties to, allegedly, according to Kenneth Petty? What would you want with my wife's telephone number? And why would I give you a whole celebrity, a whole A-list superstar's telephone number? Why?
I want to add some. Go ahead. I wanted to add some.
Yes, please elaborate on this.
Also wanted to add, again, he keeps saying that the recant wouldn't help him. Again, I'm going to point out this. So if Black was allegedly speaking with Jennifer about recanting. Again, why give your wife phone number to Black if it wasn't going to help? If you didn't
Right.
need it? If you wasn't requesting it?
Right. So I'm gonna get into that as well. Oh, somebody says yes, and I met him in Harlem and really respectfully and humble. They are in no comparison to this fool. Absolutely, yeah. Don't compare the Essential Part 5 situation with Kenneth Petty and Nicki Minaj. People, please, because it's offensive to one of the members. One of the victims, as Queen K mentioned earlier. So he goes on to say, my wife and I grew up in the same neighborhood with Black, although we are not close to each other. To be absolutely clear, I would not ask him to contact or communicate on my behalf with the plaintiff. I did not know that Black was communicating with the plaintiff until he asked me for my wife's phone number, so that the plaintiff and my wife could speak. Ladies and gents, come on, ladies and gents. Come on, ladies and gents. This is proof, validates what Jennifer and supports what Jennifer has been alleging this whole time. This is proof, validation, and support to Jennifer's allegations regarding Kenneth Petty and Nicki Minaj this whole time.
I
He
want to
also
say something else. Also, he states in his declaration that he did not give Black $20,000. So how did Black get $20,000 cash still wrapped up? Where did he get $20,000 in cash wrapped up? Because I don't think Black has an occupation where he can get $20,000 cash like that to offer someone allegedly. Where did he get $20,000 in cash that quickly, still wrapped up?
right, yeah,
That
absolutely,
can be traced to the person that took it out their account. You were meeting up with Black. Allegedly, you state in your declaration that you have been communicating with Black. You have seen Black. How did Black get the $20,000? Where did it come from?
right, absolutely. So, and then we're gonna get to the money offers in a minute. Then he goes on. He goes on and he says, "Hold on, 'cause I told him." He says, "Although I gave Black my wife's phone number, why would you give? Why? Why? You don't know this man. According to you, you just know him from the neighborhood. You're not close to him. Why would you give him your wife's phone number? And why would Nicki Minaj be okay with this?" If you guys remember, when Jennifer provided the screenshot of the phone number for Nicki Minaj, it said at the top of the contact, Zubang Fendi. Zubang Fendi, it says Zubang Fendi, and then it says wifey. Zubang Fendi is also known as Kenneth Petty, and then it said wifey. So obviously, Kenneth Petty did send Black Jennifer, Nicki Minaj's number to give to Jennifer, or whatever the case was, which is what he's stating here. This is what Jennifer was stating all along when she was getting discredited by these dang Barb blogs. I don't want to hear nothing from these bar blogs. Y'all discredited Jennifer to the death of y'all. Tooth and nail, blood, sweat, and tears. Broke night discrediting and slandering and threatening and harassing.
I want to make another point.
Yeah.
Another point I want to make is, again, in the declaration, he states that he never communicated with Black about Jennifer. Or I'm gonna be repetitive about this because I need this to sink in. He keeps saying in the declaration he never discussed Jennifer or anything about recanting. So when he gives Black his wife's phone number and and she calls Jennifer, my question is, why was she calling? It had to be an explanation explained from her own husband out of his mouth to why she was calling Jennifer. He
Right.
had to explain to her why to call Jennifer. Because again, Black never communicated with Nikki. Kenneth was the person in the middle with this, and Black was with the communication. So Black never talked to Nikki, who explained to Nikki what was the purpose of her contacting Jennifer. See, in this declaration, it's a lot of telling, and they don't know that they're telling on themselves. But I'm looking at this in a professional way.
Right.
Who who told why was she calling Jennifer? What was explained to her by whom? It wasn't Black because Black said he never talked to her. So who explained to Nikki, other than the person that she sleeps with, the reason why she needs to contact Jennifer?
Right.
So by him saying in a declaration he was unaware of Black communicating with Jennifer or any knowledge of the recanting. So what was the explanation that you gave your wife to call and contact Jennifer?
Well, if Kenneth claims he and Nikki only grew up in the same neighborhood as Black as well, what would be the motive for giving Black her number, let alone have a pre-conspired conversation regarding Jennifer with Black? How would Kenny know anything regarding Jennifer or her family if he wasn't already discussing her with Black?
And how would he know that her brother is a fugitive on the run
Oh, we getting to that, baby. We
if you
getting to
haven't
that.
discussed Jennifer
Right,
or
right, that's
anything regarding her?
right. Exactly, and that's coming right up. He says, I told Black that he should not communicate with the plaintiff, meaning Jennifer. So Kenneth Petty is admitting that he told Black not to communicate with Jennifer. Why would you tell Black not to communicate with Jennifer? What pre-conversation went on and took place before you telling Black not to communicate? What provoked you to tell Black or to advise Black to not communicate with Jennifer? What did? Why were you having preconceived conversations about Jennifer with Black, Kenneth Petty? Jennifer wasn't reaching out to you guys. Show me the call records. Jennifer ain't reach out to Nicki Minaj. Show me the call record. Jennifer ain't reach out to Ganks and Jamie. Show me the call records. And Jennifer damn sure ain't reach out to Black. These people reached out to Jennifer and her family.
Again, I want you guys to make a mental note. Who explained to Nikki the reason to contact Jennifer? If Black had no communication with Nikki, what other person could explain to her the reason to call Jennifer?
Right. Right. Exactly. There was a weapon involved, and these people still want to sweep it under the rug and try to blind eye and play Ray Charles to the bullshit. But absolutely, I agree with a comment I just seen. They could be paying Black to take the rap, and it's true. A real hood dude will abide by the law of the street code and won't snitch, take the whole rap. Now it'll be between him and Kenneth, but I see Kenneth is already breaking that street code because he's dry snitching on Jennifer's brother and he's dry snitching on Black. I ain't never seen a gangsters become such a snitch since Takashi 6ix9ine. Yes, absolutely. Wouldn't you like to know? Kenneth Petty's parents were there to take Jennifer to the DA's office prior to Jennifer's adoptive aunt, not biological, but adoptive aunt, taking her to the courthouse to drop the charges. Now, going back to that moment, going taking a trip back into memory lane, Jennifer never wrote a recant letter at the time of being taken to the courthouse to drop the charges. All she did was stand up in court and say, I want to drop the charges, and fled the court. Never wrote a letter. That letter is non existent. Please don't let these bar blogs continue spinning this false narrative because it's not accurate. There's no letter. Nikki mentioned this letter, and so are these blogs. They're running with it. Tell Nikki to provide this letter. Um, he says he told Black not to communicate with Jennifer. Even if Jennifer recanted her false allegations of rape, this would not have affected charges against me regarding my failure to register as a sex offender. Then why are you suing the state of New York? But you're claiming here that even if Jennifer would have recanted her false allegations of rape, you're saying on line 15, page 4, that this would not have affected your charges against you regarding your failure to register as a sex offender. Then why are you suing the state of New York if it wouldn't affect you? Why are you acting affected when it comes to your lawsuit against the state of New York, Kenneth Petty? Why are you lying to this judge on the case of Jennifer Huff versus Mirage and Kenneth Petty? Line 16, Kenneth Petty goes on to saying, to be clear, I never gave Black any money, much less $20,000 to offer Jennifer. Okay. Now he says, let me take the screen off the screen. He says, that being said, I do not know whether Black tried to pretend that he was acting on behalf of my wife and me, given my wife's celebrity. However, so look, he's throwing Black under the bus, y'all. Pretty much saying, I don't know, Black probably was acting like we was trying to pay Jennifer $20,000, but that's not us. Then he goes, however, it would not be surprising that someone who grew up with us would try to make a connection to my wife by coming to her. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Oh, it froze. Hold on. All right, hold on. I think it froze here. All right, hold on. So, while we get this other document, let's go ahead and see. All right, that's number 4, right? Let me see something. All right, let me get number 4 back up here. Hold on, because that's pretty much the end of that document. Number 4 would be this document here. All right. Let me take that off and bring it back. So yeah, then he goes on to saying, to be clear, I never gave Black any money, much less $20,000 to offer the plaintiff. That being said, I do not know whether Black tried to pretend that he was acting on behalf of my wife and me. This is not even written or typed professionally. He should have said acting on behalf of my wife and I, not my wife and me. Who typed this? Anyway, given my wife's celebrity, however, it would not be surprising that someone who grew up with us would try to make a connection to my wife by coming to her after the fact to take credit for having solved a problem which he was never asked to solve. In our world, people would pay far more than $20,000 to cultivate a relationship with Jennifer. So, that line 17, right? Speaking of the line 17,
Um,
let me.
um, are you
Yeah,
looking for something? Because I wanted to say something else.
sure. Go ahead.
Okay. In my legal, this is my in my legal profession opinion. What I'm about to bring up, he keeps stating that the victim recanting her story it wouldn't help. Well, that's incorrect. Again, I'm gonna be repetitive on these things because these are actual legal facts. Okay. If a victim, no matter how long it is, 20 years, whatever, 30 years, because he still is legally supposed to abide to registering, um, if she recanted her story, it would definitely indeed help. I'm going to give an example of, I can't remember the case, but there have been numerous cases. A particular case where a man was accused of, I think he was a high school football player. He was accused of rape. No DNA, no nothing. He was accused of rape just by identification, right? He did maybe 20 some odd years in prison for this. And so throughout the years, the victim felt guilty about it, accusing him, and lied to where she finally came, and this was a white woman, and the person she accused was a black athlete. She recanted her story, um, and he was exonerated. He got out of prison, and I think he sued the state um, for incarcerating him without taking any DNA, and he sued the state. So when Kenneth says that it wouldn't help, it absolutely would help him because he was planning to file anyway to get off registry. He keeps saying that it would not help. I want to make sure that you guys understand legally it would help him by her writing a statement saying that she did not get raped by him. That would originally turn the original case over, just like he's stating in the declaration, adamantly saying that he did not violate her. He is trying to overturn that case, the original case. Not only is he trying to get off registry, he's trying to not be accused of being a rapist or be accused of attempted rape either.
Right.
I just want to make sure I keep, I'm gonna be real repetitive on that. It would absolutely help him.
Of course, it would. It would help him and Nikki both. Um, he goes on to saying that being said, I don't know whether Black tried to pretend that he was acting on behalf of my wife and me, giving my wife celebrity. However, um, he says in our world we would pay far more than $20,000 to cultivate a relationship with Jennifer. Oh, is that why you had Ganks and Jamie, or for Jennifer's brother, the same brother you claim is on the run from the legal authorities, the $500,000 offer for the bribe, Kenneth Petty? Is that why you said 500,000 instead of 20,000? We gonna get to that in a second. Then he says, "I never obtained counsel for plaintiff." Really? But Jennifer showed us text messages between her and private investigator Charles Middlestat. Um, she also showed us conversations with her and Ian Wallach, which is Kenneth Petty. He claimed to be legal counsel for Kenneth Petty. So who fabricated those? Because those are going to be exhibits in this case soon. Let me see, Jennifer, if you're listening, please send me those. I know I got them, but I don't want to search through my files right now. Send me those. I think you already did. Let me see. Yeah, I have them somewhere. You sent them to me months ago. I remember months ago you sent me all these receipts. But let me see if I got him. If I got him on hand right here. Yeah, but you guys seen the receipts here on the show before with Eon Wally and Charles Middlestat contacting Jennifer on behalf of Kenneth Petty and a recant, and through Black. They mentioned Black in this conversation. Well, we're contacting you on behalf of Black. Why would Black want to hire a private investigator or legal counsel for Kenneth Petty if they're not even close? Why would these private investigators and legal attorneys be contacting Jennifer on behalf of Black? Um, or say or mention, I've spoken with Black regarding this matter. If Black and Kenneth Petty were not in contact, and if Black and Kenneth Petty were not close, why is Black speaking to your legal team and your private investigator on behalf of you so that they can work out some sort of deal with Jennifer? Why? Doesn't make sense, people. We need to ask these questions. He says, that being said, on line 17, page 4, I do not know whether Black tried to pretend. Then he goes, I never obtained counsel for plaintiff. I'm unaware of anyone I know obtaining counsel for plaintiff, nor would I have ever done so. I never stalked plaintiff or any of her relatives. Indeed, I do not know where any of them live today. Although very recently I have since received a second-hand account that her brother is now a fugitive from an arrest warrant. This is vital here, guys.
Let me give you because I'm familiar with Charles Middlestat. Charles Middlestat, I'm not going to say how, but Charles Middlestat is also on Georgia's Innocent Project's Legal Advisory Committee. He's been on that for over 15 years. He's also been on TV, like Court TV, CNN, Oxygen, Dateline, Embassy, A&E, Law and Crime. Charles Middlestat has a criminal justice degree along with other certificates. He has worked with, and I know this from my own experience, he has done things for allegedly Rick Ross. He's a fact finder. He's a investigator. And my opinion is that he was hired by, I'm going to say, the Pettys to see if she was going to recant through him as well.
Right.
I don't know why they would lie and mislead her to say that he was there to help her when actually he was there to help them get information regarding her and regarding if she wanted to recant the story. Because again, he is on the board of the Innocence Project in Georgia. So, you know, it's just crazy that out of the blue, Charles Middlestat would contact her regarding this case. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Right. No, I agree. So my last 2 points that I want to make here, because I do have to run out, is the fact that he's stating here he never stalked plaintiff or any of her relatives. He never stalked them. But then you also go on to claiming, which I feel like he dug himself in a hole, that he has since received a secondhand account of her brother now being a fugitive from an arrest warrant. Here he goes dry snitching once again. Someone from the streets that knows the street code, that's a gang affiliated, does not do. He's dry snitching on Jennifer's brother and Black. So you're saying first on one account that you don't have any contact with Jennifer or her family, or you never stalked her family, but then on another account, you saying that you have a secondhand account information on her brother being a fugitive from an arrest warrant? How do you have information about Jennifer's brother if you are claiming that you have not seen or communicated with Jennifer since 1994, and you have not harassed or stalked her family, and you have not threatened or contacted any of her family members? Why are you receiving a secondhand account from her brother being a fugitive from an arrest warrant? I'm telling you, they keep sticking their foot in their own ass. They keep revealing and exposing themselves, and the truth shall prevail, and the truth shall always hit the light. The light shall always be shined on the truth. Let me tell you guys, this is the same brother he is talking about being on the run. Is the same brother that Jennifer is alleging they were contacting to give her the recant and bribe offers. This is the same brother. So since you want to dry snitch and bring him into this case, Kenneth Petty, and then claim you know nothing about Jennifer or her family, but then right after claiming that, go on to saying you received secondhand account information on her brother. Why are you so worried about Jennifer's brother, Kenneth? Why are you bringing him up in this case? Is it because you have some sort of connection to Jennifer's brother? Is it because you sent your goons to reach out to Jennifer's brother, Ganks, Jamie, and Black? Because you knew that would be the easiest way to contact Jennifer and try to get her to recant? Is it because they all grew up in the same neighborhood as children, as teens? Is that why you sent them to contact Jennifer's brother, allegedly? Kenneth Petty? Now let's go ahead into this. These are going to be my last exhibits, all right? Because we had our own little court case today. We resolved and exposed a lot. So the next time they come at y'all with some bull, you show them this shit. But this is going to be my little exhibits now. I don't even think this is on a docket. But check this out. This is a conversation between Jennifer's adoptive aunt, not biological aunt, her adoptive aunt. This is a conversation that Jennifer had with her adoptive aunt, Donna, regarding these bribe offers. So let's go ahead and see what these bribe offers, what this conversation was about. Because Kenneth Petty's claiming that he ain't had no conversation, no communication with Jennifer or her family. He's also claiming that he never sent anyone to threaten or bribe Jennifer or her family. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in this conversation here between Jennifer and her adoptive aunt, Donna. So let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. Let's zoom in. So if you look back, Donna is telling Jennifer, if you look up here at the very top, she's saying, they will go back to your mama history, Inwood Street, and trash your ass on every tabloid. Jennifer's the one in pink. Jennifer says, I believe it. Donna says, keep a low profile and my baby safe. Are you with your hubby? Jennifer says, absolutely not. Donna, her adoptive aunt, then says, they claim they offered $200,000 and you wanted $500,000. Jennifer then responds to Donna and says, nobody talked to me. This is proof. This is way back when. I believe 2018. Let me see if I got the dates up right now. This is way back then. And then Jennifer tells Donna, no one talked to me, and she sends her a screenshot. Jennifer sends Donna a screenshot of her conversation with her brother, the one that Kenneth Petty is claiming to be on a run in this court document. This is a conversation between that same brother and Jennifer. And Jennifer's telling him she hung up on you, laughing out loud. He says to Jennifer, Jay, meaning Jamie, meaning the person Jennifer has been stating all along, one of the people, one of the intermediaries, Jay said they not budging off at 600. He's going to try to get 700. Son sent me that yesterday. And if you guys see here, let me zoom in. This was at 9:51 a.m. March 14th. All right. Then he sent something on Monday, March 16th at 9:03 p.m. As you guys can see here, Jennifer didn't even respond. So Jennifer's not trying to make any negotiations. The only person really connecting with these people is Jennifer's brother, except for Black. Black actually went out to visit Jennifer and all kinds of things and try to play friendly and sweet because these people know Jennifer's brother. They grew up around Jennifer's brother, not really, much so Jennifer. So they came through from Jennifer's brother and Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. Jennifer's brother was the middle person that they were contacting in order to relay messages to Jennifer. Jennifer was protecting her brother this whole time because she didn't want him in harm's way. He still lives in New York. So this is one receipt that proves these people were making offers through Black, Jamie, and Ganks. Jennifer was not taking their offers. I'm sure at some point maybe her brother said, no, my sister's not going to lie for that amount of money. She's not going to lie. And they're probably trying to, amp up the price. Well, then how about 600? How about 700,000? How about, in my opinion, allegedly. So this was all Jennifer's brother because he grew up around these guys, communicating with them. Jennifer had no intention of recanting. She had no intention of accepting any money offers. And if that's not enough proof, let me just go ahead and share another receipt with you guys. This is another conversation that took place with Jennifer and her adoptive aunt, Donna, not biological, adoptive aunt Donna. So Jennifer is once again in the pink and Donna is in the black. So it starts off saying that she appreciated me talking to her. She appreciates me considering helping them out. This is Jennifer speaking about Nicki Minaj to her adoptive aunt, Donna. Then Jennifer goes on to say, she asked me if I wanted her to fly me and my family out so we could talk face to face and not over the phone. When I told her no, she then said, well, maybe she can have her publicist fly to where I am and talk with me. So this is a conversation, I believe that took place back then when this whole thing first started, when Jennifer first started getting contacted by these people a year or two ago. And then Donna writes back and says, did you give her an inkling that you were going to help them? I wouldn't accept any more calls from her. Jennifer tells Donna, I said I didn't want no problems. I said I wanted this all to end so I can be left alone. And I made sure I told her that it did happen. Excuse me. So if I did recant, it would be a lie. This is enough proof that Jennifer has never changed her story. This was before all the internet stuff. This is before the case, the court case, the suit. So Jennifer's talking to her aunt and telling her, I said, I want no problems. I said, I just want all this shit to go away and end. And I made sure I told her that it did happen. It did happen. The rape did happen. So if I did recant, it would be a lie. And then her aunt says, good girl, I'm proud of you. Then she goes on to saying something about the money sounds great, but the consequences that may come with it. So this is her aunt, Donna, her adoptive aunt, Donna, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. And let me just go ahead and share the last receipt, which is another text conversation between her adoptive aunt Donna and herself. And then you guys can see that Jennifer has never lied about the recant bribe offers, that there were various offers being made to Jennifer through her family, that Kenneth Petty and his goons were directly and indirectly reaching out to Jennifer through her family. This is all pretty much a lot of evidence that can be presented in a court of law. So then her aunt Donna sends her this on April 21st, 2020 at 6:15 p.m. Timestamps, people, receipts. Hashtag mother receipts in the damn chat, man. So it says on April 21st, 2020, they're still having these conversations. This is where everything's unfolded behind the scenes. It's unfolding. These people are still trying to contact Jennifer's family and trying to get her to recant and take one of the bribe offers. So she goes on to saying, I'm not trying to get in your business. This is the adoptive aunt Donna, but I just want you to stay safe. So let me ask you this. Did you agree to accepting $590,000 from Kenny/Nikki for you to publicly say he never raped you? Question mark. Only asking because I don't want you to be set up or hurt. Jennifer responds once again to this adoptive aunt Donna and says, I didn't accept anything. I don't even know these people who keep contacting people I don't even talk to. So she's telling her, I don't even know these people, Jamie and Ganks and Black and them, who keep contacting people or family that I don't even talk to. Then she goes to say, supposedly Chops got in it some kind of way. Chops is another adoptive cousin of Jennifer's. So he is this Aunt Donna's biological nephew, right? Then Jennifer's telling her Chops got involved some kind of way, and I haven't talked to him since Jody's wedding. I don't really know if I'm safe or not, because that person that found Chops, I don't know him. But they were going back and forth talking about negotiating for me, and I don't want any parts. Damn it. This is a receipt. This is a receipt, time stamped and dated April 21st, 2020, a whole year and a half, pretty much, almost a year and a half before this lawsuit has even taken place. Jennifer has always said, I did not accept anything. I don't even know these people. I don't want them contacting me. I just want to be left alone. They're still contacting adoptive family members and making negotiations with them. This is where the whole Sharon, a.k.a. Sunday Grayson, comes into play, because she was one of the people contacting these people, especially Black. Let's keep in mind, Sharon dated Black, which is why they were spinning the fake narrative and false narrative that Jennifer and Black were cousins, which is false. He's not even married or was never married to Sharon. They just dated. And Sharon seems to be, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, and allegedly, one of the sources or intermediaries to Black. So yeah, her adoptive family has also backstabbed and betrayed her. And you have to understand that Sharon has stated on the Tree Frogs channel back a couple of months ago, that there were family members that were jealous or hateful towards Jennifer as a child. We had grown people hateful towards Jennifer when she was a child, just because they felt like their grandmother or their sister or aunt or whoever it was to them that raised Jennifer or adopted Jennifer put more attention towards Jennifer than she did to that family. So there was always a preference issue. When it came to them, they felt like Jennifer was favored
or preferenced, or whatever the case they may, however they may put it. But this is their own words. Sharon, aka Sunday Grayson, the adoptive cousin of Jennifer, the one that turned around and backstabbed her after she felt like Jennifer was getting paid and she wasn't. Which Jennifer never got paid for any interviews, but that's what Sharon felt. And Sharon was always chasing the clout. She was hitting Nikki up in the DMs in 2018, trying to tell her that Jennifer lied after she felt like Jennifer was not involving her in any kind of money situation. She was the same cousin that was trying to push Jennifer to sue Nicki Minaj, also stating that she just wanted a walkthrough at her place of employment and a house. So she's been one of the money-hungry adoptive family members all along. When Jennifer's been telling all these people, I want no parts. I don't want no parts. I don't want to be contacted. I don't want to recant. I don't want to get paid. Leave me the hell alone. Now that is funny, because if you guys remember, it's very odd. And if you guys remember, Jennifer put out a video on her own YouTube channel. In the video, and who's this Lexi Chunk person thanking that Nicole blogger for connecting her with Nikki's lawyer? She's thanking her. And she thanked her, I believe, on October 12th, which is before Nikki claimed she retained her lawyer, Judd Burstein. But we're going to get into that in another show. We're going to get to that on another show. Oh, yeah, that's going to be very interesting as well. But if you guys remember, because I'm telling you, they dig their own burial. It's funny how Jen said in her video that she made on her YouTube channel to leave her and her family alone. Y'all remember that? Let me see if I'll go ahead and pull it up for those of you that don't remember. She said, leave me and my family alone. And she was stating to these bribe offers. She was referring to the bribe offers. She was referring to the threats. She was referring to pretty much what Kenneth Petty is denying, but admitting at the same damn time because he's that stupid. But let's go ahead. Receipts, baby. Let's go ahead and share it.
Tell your fucking people to leave my family alone, okay? Don't call my fucking family.
January 3rd of this year, Jennifer made her own personal YouTube video on her channel and says,
This message is for Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. Tell your fucking people to leave my family alone, okay? Don't call my fucking family. Don't call my brothers. Don't call anybody. Leave me and my family the fuck alone.
And this is what Jennifer was referring to when she made that video. Oop. Leave my family alone. But you continued using your pawns to contact Jennifer's family and make these offers, allegedly. In my opinion, I believe it to be 1,000% true. You continued harassing the family of direct and indirect. These are all direct and indirect. And then you speak of this brother in your declaration, saying that he's running from the cops and the authorities. So you want to lock the brother up because he has a lot of information regarding you. Well, you should have not even brought him into the declaration, because now if that brother gets subpoenaed, which I doubt he'd probably show up because he hasn't been much help to Jen, because he's, like Kenneth said, he's got problems with the law. So any guy in the street that's got problems with the law ain't gonna want to participate or cooperate in any kind of legal matter. Family or no family, you dig? family or no family. So Jennifer's been telling these people, leave me alone. Stop harassing me. Stop harassing my family. Stop reaching out. Stop trying to bribe. Stop threatening me. No one would listen. No one would believe her. Everybody kept threatening her, discrediting her, bullying, up until Kenneth says it. So now it's believable. Now that Kenneth Petty said, I know about Jennifer's brother being on the run. I know Black. I did give Black Nikki's number for Nikki to call, have a phone call with Jen, phone call conversation. Or I did give him, just him saying he gave him the number. Why? If you stated that you was not close to Black, why would you give him an A-list celebrity's number? Your wife. It makes absolutely zero sense. And the judge will chew this claim the fuck up. He's going to chew it up. He's going to ask him that very question. It's a stupid. If you are not close with somebody, why are you giving them your phone number and advising that person not to be in communication with the victim, with the plaintiff? If you have nothing to do with the plaintiff, if you have no prior situations or conversations about the plaintiff, why should you advise him this? What made you or led you to believe that he was in communication with the plaintiff? Man, listen, that's all I got for you guys today, man. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this show. A lot was definitely covered. Queen K, if you have any closing thoughts, I'd be definitely happy to hear them. I'm sure the people in the chat would be as well. Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and close up. But yeah, I'm going to just tell you guys and leave you guys with this. Please just keep your thinking caps on. Use critical thinking, judgment, and stay vigilant for all these clues coming out. Keep a good, sharp eye out here for all these clues coming out because it's self-explanatory, people. This is not even rocket science. We don't even have to think too hard to really see the facts of this case. And if we ain't got to think too hard, I'm damn sure that judge ain't going to have to think too hard. No tinking too hard. No tinking too hard. But go ahead, lovely Queen K. What do you have to say? Final thoughts.
No, I just want to bring up where people are saying there's no alleged gang affiliation, and these things. I just want to say this regarding that manslaughter on the deceased victim, Lamont Robinson. So I've obtained the police documents regarding that. Okay, so according to law enforcement, Petty ran down on a man named Lamont Robinson April of 2002. Now, you guys, you know he was convicted in 1996 and did 4 years. So, sorry. So, April of 2002, on a street corner in Queens, New York, he reportedly hopped out of his vehicle, walked over to his victim and shot him 3 times in the stomach before leaving the scene. Robinson survived long enough to identify Petty as the shooter, but died short time later due to his complications from his wounds. Petty was initially charged with second-degree murder. He later pleaded out to first-degree manslaughter. Again, that's another plea that he took. He later pleaded out to first-degree manslaughter. I'm sorry, hold on one second. I don't know why I did that. Authorities meaning the New York Police Department, believe the shooting was over a gang-related beef. I'm going to repeat that, a gang-related beef. Petty was eventually released in 2013. And then it goes to say, about his case regarding his attempted rape. Prior to that, when he was released from that rape, I am seeing where he was on a supervised probation for 5 years, along with that release of him being released from that attempted rape charge as well. So I just don't understand why all these pleas that he has, somehow he's innocent, and he's being compared to um the five Central Park gentlemen and other black men that have been wrongfully accused due to their finances, and being due to them being indigent, and due to them being black men. This is not the case. I mean, April of 2002, and he did 4 years. That's not too long from him committing that attempted rape to he killed somebody over an alleged gang related beef, and he was identified. So, I mean, he has a long history of committing a lot of crimes and being in jail throughout his year. So, I just don't get why people are not believing that this young lady was violated. And that's all I have to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree. I agree. I agree. This man is a murderer and a rapist. A murderer and a rapist. Why are we not? Why wouldn't we believe anything that poor victim Jennifer has told us? Thank you so much, Queen K. I really appreciate you. You're always a pleasure and joy, and very informative to have on this panel. You come, as you guys can all see, you come with exclusive, vital information, and you're always appreciated. I thank you so much for coming on here today and always. Um, and I just want to leave you guys with this. I just want to show you pretty much another receipt that I had posted out here on YouTube and Instagram a couple of months ago, I believe in June. Let me go ahead and show you this other receipt, pretty much, which was what I was stating earlier regarding the court document, the declaration where Kenneth Petty said that he never sent any legal counsel or anybody to work with Jennifer for that matter. He's never sent anyone, no private investigator, no legal counsel, no one. But let's go ahead and take a trip back to memory lane. What's going on here? Oh, wait. Let's go back up. Let's go back up. This is the middlestatfirm.com right here. This looks like Kenneth Petty's legal team. Hold on, we're gonna go right back up to the top. We're gonna go right back
Hot
up
shot,
to the top.
scroll back down. Scroll back down. I wanna show you something.
I can't.
Scroll
It's
down.
a video. So I gotta still
okay.
yeah. It's a video, so I gotta I screen record it. Pretty
Okay. I
much
thought you were
conversation.
scrolling.
No. I'm mad. I can't scroll. I should have done screenshots, but it was just all right. So it starts at the top. April 22nd, 2020 at 4:10 p.m. Jennifer receives a text that says, "Hello, Mrs. Huff. This is Charles Middlestat, who has been talking with Black. Just tried to call you and went straight to voicemail. Please let me know when it's a good time to try again." You better wake up and pay attention.
How would Black know to come to? This is my thing, and this is my professional opinion, because like I said, I have so many years of this. Now, how would Black? I'm gonna take a peek, break down these text messages. How would Black know Charles Middlestat? And I said who Charles Middlestat is, and I know clients that Charles Middlestat has worked with. One of them, allegedly, is Rick Ross. And there are other people. And like I said, he is on the board of Innocence in Georgia, and he has a criminal justice degree, and he has some certificates as well. And he's been on numerous TV shows that are known nationwide. Like I said, CNN. He's given his his commentary on all these shows. Um, you know, it's just numerous shows that are known nationwide. CNN,
Big corporation.
MSNBC, all these criminal justice shows, he's given his commentary. What I want to know is, How would Black know to contact Charles Middlestat, and how would Charles Middlestat know any recollection of Black?
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. And these are dated back in 2020, last year. So, excuse me, they've been trying to contact Jennifer on behalf of Kenneth Petty and Black. They've been trying to. He just said he never had any involvement in any legal counsel or anybody for that matter contacting Jennifer on his behalf. That's a lie.
Well, in these text messages, you're going to see whenever you scroll up or however it's going to do,
Here we
you're
go.
going to see where he admits that Kenneth already has lawyers in L.A. That's another thing that I wanted to point out. This
Jennifer
is in
responds to him.
2020. How come he has lawyers already in L.A. when now he just filed to get his name taken off registry? Again, I'm going to make this clear. He needed Jennifer to recant to assist with him trying to get his name off the registry and to overturn the original case. As you see, you're going to see in the text message below the one where it says first, whose side are you on? That's Jennifer. And then underneath that, you're going to see where Middlestat replies and says that Kenneth already has lawyers in he works for Kenneth attorneys in LA, which I'm assume that they hired Charles Middlestat, which is a secondary company that assists with finding people and doing investigative work. See, it says, I'm no lawyer. I am an investigator working with Kenneth's attorneys in LA. Now, why would he have lawyers already in 2020?
Right. So this is a whole, and I could show you on my post on the caption. It says exclusive receipt. This was back in June 3rd. Exclusive receipt. This is a screen recording straight from Jennifer's phone, showing and proving that she was in contact with the fact finder / investigator hired by Kenneth Petty's attorney in Los Angeles. So Kenneth Petty's attorney, Ian Wallach, allegedly hired Charles Middlestat to give advice, legal advice, or become a fact finder on behalf of Jennifer. So
no, this is the thing. That's a lie. In my legal opinion, he was not there for Jennifer. It doesn't make any sense. Why would they hire a fact finder for Jennifer? What he was doing, let me tell you what Charles does. He goes out, he's hired by.
Well, he was investigating Jennifer and trying to get her in contact with Ian Wallach.
Is that what you believe?
I believe he was reaching out to Jennifer because remember when Jennifer was telling these people, I'm not recanting and I don't want to talk about this no more without a lawyer. So then that's when Black acted on it and said, well, listen, I have somebody that you can speak to and get legal advice from. This is all where Charles Middlestat came in the picture and he started reaching out to Jennifer. So I guess Black had relayed the message that Jennifer was not trying to talk to anybody regarding this matter without a lawyer because she felt like this could be used against her and she could be facing legal penalties if she lied on her.
No, he is not a lawyer.
Oh, he's not
Charles
a lawyer.
Middlestat has a criminal justice and holds a board certifications for criminal defense investigator and a certified protection professional that he obtained in 1997 in both in security and investigation disciplines. Again, like I said, he is a member of the National Criminal Defense Georgia Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers and has been a member of the I'm sounding Southern, Georgia Innocent Project's Legal Advisory Committee for over 15 years. He is hired by celebrities, through lawyers, more so like a private investigator. How I'm just using private investigators. They go seek out information. They obtain the information for the lawyers. if Jennifer wanted to recant her story, he's a person that to go to, and he would relay it to Kenneth's lawyers.
Correct.
So it wouldn't be any communication with Kenneth with Jennifer, or anything wouldn't go back towards those two. It would be the lawyers that were hired Mr. Middlestat to do these things. So far as I don't think, I know that Middlestat was not there for Jennifer.
Oh no, I know that. I know that as well. But although he played the role like he was, so then Jennifer goes on to say, "My apologies for the late reply. Early tomorrow is fine if your schedule permits." He responds and says, "No worries. Just give me a time that's convenient for you, and that's when we'll make it happen." Jennifer says, "First, whose side are you on? Are you Black's lawyer, Nikki's lawyer, or Kenneth's lawyer? If you don't mind me asking." He says, "I'm no lawyer. I'm an investigator working with Kenneth's attorneys in LA. I don't represent anybody. I'm simply," let's go ahead and continue listening, "a fact finder. I will have a New York based lawyer available to speak with you, and my intentions are to address any and all concerns you might have before we get into any substantive. Please feel free to ask any and all questions. I want you to feel 100% comfortable." Then he leaves Jennifer his firm, the Middlestat firm, which is www.themiddlestatfirm.com, for her to go ahead and check out his firm. Then she responds, "I just don't want to be blindsided in any way. I was told I would be speaking to a lawyer, and so far I've only spoken to people somehow representing him," meaning Kenneth. "If I had the money, I would get my own lawyer," she says. Then Jennifer says, "I appreciate you being honest. If I speak with you, will our conversations have to be recorded? Question mark. Charles Middlestat responds and says, "Completely understand. I'm happy to put you directly in contact with a lawyer who does not represent Kenneth, but candidly is being paid by his defense team in order to give you advice as to any exposure for you. Although he is being paid by Kenneth's team, he is ethically obligated to give you sound legal advice based upon his knowledge of New York law." So there he goes, trying to shove Ian Wallach down Jennifer's throat, saying, well, that he's being paid by Kenneth's team, but he's supposed to be having your best interests at heart. Then he goes, "His knowledge of New York law, everyone's interest is ensuring that you are comfortable before making any sort of statement to me." Jennifer then responds and says, "So whatever statement I make to you is going to be on record?" He says, "We can certainly speak off the record preliminarily, but ultimately the goal would be to get you on the record, possibly even to have you commit whatever your statement is in an affidavit format." They've been trying to get Jennifer to recant. Then he says, receipts, y'all. Screen record this. These are receipts. These are vital, key pieces of evidence in this whole entire case. And we've had them here all along in Hot Shot Radio Show from day one. So keep these in mind because you're going to see these come up again soon in the near future. And then he goes on to saying, we certainly they want to have her statement in an affidavit format, but all that can be discussed. The first step is to make sure you understand and are satisfied with the fact that you can no longer be prosecuted for recanting. Well, they were trying to put on a hook.
That's what I want to say. That's why he was sent. He was there to give her, sent to her as a fact finder and investigate, so that he's the third party that he's speaking to her with. I mean, he's the third party that they're going through with. He was hired. Okay. So he also states that she can have a lawyer that's knowledgeable of New York's laws, meaning not New York's laws. He's talking about New York laws of recanting statements and making sure that she won't have to do any time for recanting her story, to assist with Mr. Petty, as I've stated for a long time. as I've been repeatedly stating here in this video yet again, that her recantment statement is absolutely needed because he was already in the process, like I exposed beforehand. He was already in the process of, I think another reason why he is with Nicki Minaj was to always get this case out and get it reopened so it can be overturned, because with her fame and with her money, it is possible that it could be taken off of his record, off of his, off of his background. So
Absolutely.
again, they used Middlestat. They hired him as a third party to contact Jennifer to see if she will recant her story and also ensure that she will not be in trouble. They will not speak of her or anything in the public if she recants this her story, so that it would assist with him where he is already has lawyers in LA to file for his name to be taken off of the registry. As you see in this text message, he has lawyers in 2020. So he wanted her recantment and on an affidavit, so that it
Format.
assists with him to get his name off of this registry, like I've always said. And then in this text message, it says that she will not be prosecuted for recanting. I'm trying to read this. I'm sorry, I stopped.
Nah, you Gucci. Um,
I'm trying to read the text message because it's not down. You didn't hit. So he's stating here that he would prefer her to record. He wanted to record her statement of the reencantment that he's asking her for, so that he can be taken off registry, and it would be put in an affidavit format. So what he's saying is, after he's recorded her, it would be put in he would type it in the affidavit, sorry, and where she will also sign that document. So they would have a recorded statement and they would have a written statement of the recording, and she would sign off and it would be notarized. I'm familiar with this, so that Kenneth can be taken off the registry. And you see Jennifer is asking, questions about what he's asking her to do. I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, so, guys, we've shared so much evidence, so much proof, so much information today that whenever you hear somebody try to discredit Jennifer again, please refer them to this video. Um, so let's go ahead and continue reading with Charles Middlestat, the private investigator working on behalf of Kenneth Petty's legal team, told Jennifer. He says, we certainly speak off the record preliminarily, but ultimately the goal would be to get you on record, possibly to have you commit whatever your statement is in an affidavit format, but all that can be discussed. The first step is to make sure you understand and are satisfied with the fact that you can no longer be prosecuted for recanting. And I agree, in a perfect world, it would be best if you could afford your own attorney to get this advice. But in the alternative, again, we can make one available to you. Jennifer says, I just want to talk to a lawyer first. This is what she's been saying. She said it to Black. She said it to everybody else that she's been in contact with regarding the situation. I just want to talk to a dang lawyer. Because Jennifer is, one, a law-abiding citizen, and two, a God-fearing woman. She is not going to sit here and try to lie by recanting her story and then face charges. She is not dumb. Then he goes on to replying to
I
Jennifer
want
and
to
says,
add that he is also pressuring her. This is my legal opinion. He's also pressuring her to only speak with lawyers that have been hired by
Kenneth Petty.
Kenneth Petty. He is really not wanting her to get her own lawyer to get advice. Let's see. I'm going to read this text message.
Yeah,
As
thank
you
you
can
for
see,
that,
he
Dave.
keeps asking,
2020.
would she like for him to put her in contact with a lawyer? He wants to put her in contact with a lawyer, but she wants to get her own lawyer. And above this, he asks, He also asked her, pressure her if she wanted to speak to a lawyer that they had hired. It's just crazy.
Exactly. For 2020. Thank you. April 2020. That's the dates of this conversation. I revealed the dates at the beginning of this whole thread. So yeah, that's the date this conversation took place. It was last year. Um, it was April of last year, which has been going down. This is what Jennifer's been claiming, and a lot of people were negating this whole fact that she was not in touch with Ian Wallach or Charles Middlestat. Um, then he goes on to saying, would you like me to put you in contact with the lawyer that is available to you, or did you mean find your own? My suggestion would be there is no downside to you talking to the one that is available. You can decide after that whether you're still uncomfortable and then opt to speak to one on your own. Jennifer replies to him and says, okay, at this point, since you're being so persistent, okay, that's fine. Um, that's pretty much the thread conversation that Jennifer had with Charles Middlestat. If Jennifer, like these people would love to say, fabricated this conversation, sue her. If Jennifer is lying about these messages coming from Charles Middlestat, sue her. It's that simple. It's that simple. Jennifer is not going to lie about something that can easily be discoverable and she can easily face legal penalties for. She has claimed there's a way to verify. This is a private investigator working with a lawyer, working with a legal team on behalf of Kenny. If Jennifer is lying on Charles Middlestat, don't you think that Charles Middlestat and the attorney Ian Wallach would have sued Jennifer? Don't you think they would have sued her for slander and defamation of character when it comes to these message conversations and when it comes to her allegations of being in contact with the private investigator for Kenneth Petty's legal attorney? That's pretty much one of the biggest proofs that Kenneth Petty, if not the biggest proof, that Kenneth Petty was trying to hire or was trying to get some kind of legal assistance on behalf of Jennifer, for Jennifer on behalf of him. So this is it. This is it, ladies.
Again, he's saying, and he's saying in that text right there, he's saying that he will still put her through with a lawyer that is being paid by Kenneth's defense team.
Right.
Now, who's paying for that for Kenneth's lawyer?
Exactly, Nikki.
Exactly,
Nikki. Exactly.
Who is claiming that they weren't aware of this case? Who claimed in the declaration that no one was communicating with Black about Jennifer? Yet, a year prior, your team hired a third party to reach out to her that is paid by your team that you are using to help take you off the registry, to help you recant your story, that you are claiming that would not help you, regardless if she did or didn't.
I agree. Well, we're going to leave y'all with this being said, man. Listen, y'all go ahead and continue supporting Jennifer, man, because y'all ain't been wrong in that. Y'all been on point and up to par since day one. Y'all ain't been... You can see you was on the right side of things. You guys were justice. Victory. And I'm not going to claim victory just yet, but listen, win, lose, or draw, I believe Jennifer. And I will always believe Jennifer. This is disgusting. It's vile. It's malicious. And for them to have done all this to Jennifer and then still claim she's not a victim and still claim she's lying is sick. is sick. And this will be investigated in a court of law. Kenneth Petty is lying once again on his declaration, but we can see the truth here. What up, Slay? What up, the only L and Butterfly? We can see. What up, Rabbit? Play nice. All of y'all, thank you for coming through. We can see the truth. So, like I said, hit that like on the way out. Hit that share. Hit that subscribe button. Show your boy that love, man. Listen, we got into a lot of real interesting things today. And we're going to get into some shit in the near future, all right? So y'all be good. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing out. Until next time, we will see you on the next flick. Thank you so much, Queen K. I appreciate you dearly from the heart and soul always, man, for coming through. And yeah, we're definitely going to catch everybody on the next flick. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay good, you heard?